You, Triple M and Channel 7's Tom Brown, the newsbreaker extraordinaire, is here with us. Welcome to you, Tom.
BT, it's a privilege to be at the SCG this afternoon. It's unbelievably exciting, but I'll start, I guess, with the fallout news-wise from last night. Our crews have been down at Geelong today. It doesn't appear that Holmes at this stage has had his scan. He's due in at the club tomorrow.
So what's the latest? What are the medicos out of Geelong saying about what it is with Holmes?
Well, they indicated last night that they think that he's a chance of playing next week. We'll know more tomorrow when he's in at the club and we get more information.
Suggestion of a bum muscle rather than a hamstring muscle.
Correct. Now, obviously, May is a bit of a precedent, but May last year, guys, did have that week off between the, leading up to the grand final, which I think is a crucial, isn't a Brownie, extra amount of time as opposed to just 5 or 6 days?
5 or 6 days is tough. I mean, even 2 weeks, 14 days, you're pushing it. It should be at least 21 days for a hamstring, but you can do small ones which heal quickly. So only the young man Holmes knows. He's got a big decision to make this week. I'd imagine they'll give him every chance, and he'll train on probably the Thursday before the AFL Grand Final. They'll put him through a really good test. If he gets through that, then you'd have to think he'd be a big chance to play, but they'd certainly test him.
Is the fact that he's, obviously they rate him, there's no doubt about that, but he's not Jeremy Cameron or Tom Hawkins. They've got Parfitt and Menegola who presumably could step into that role.
No, but what he is, Tom, is he's one of the guys that's hungry. He's one of the 6 for Geelong that haven't played in a grand final, that haven't had an opportunity, and I reckon you need that batch of guys to drive the next success, Lenny.
Yeah, definitely, and he's a massive runner too, really crucial to their structures. They'll be hoping that he gets up for sure.
Just on just on Sam Menegola, I should say, in terms of his preparation
Sean's
last
your
night.
boss,
Sean's my boss at Channel 7, which is ironic.
So
all that.
Menegola's Sam's boss. Sam's dad is the news
director
at 7.
At 7. So it was interesting last night, though. Sam was sick, I understand, with gastro on Thursday, but in a bid to play and do the team thing, he actually waited in his car pre-game last night at the MCG so he wouldn't infect or interrupt teammates in terms of their preparation, and only when he couldn't at the last minute get in the team, there was obviously no requirement for him, did he leave the MCG. So that was quite selfless.
Very good, very selfless, and I heard he listened to Triple M radio while he was in the car as well.
He would have. And no families in the room last night. Media issued with face masks. This was all after the team had been celebrating with the 80,000 people that were there, hugging and kissing and climaxing all over the shop. What are we talking about there, Tom? It's nonsense.
I agree with you. I think it was more of a gastro concern as far as Menegola was concerned instead of the COVID.
Right. What else you got?
Tom, did Dad make it up?
He's made it up. He's here officially. That Qantas flight.
What happened?
Well, there was some fumes.
So your dad, of course, is the president of Collingwood?
Of Collingwood, and they were on the plane coming up. I think it was the 10 a.m. Qantas flight. Ooh. And there were some fumes detected in the cabin. So I think they were about 10 to 15 minutes into the flight.
Someone must have had the window down.
Correct. You can't do that. It's pressurised, BT.
Oh, right.
Anyway, so they returned to Melbourne. Qantas aren't describing that as an emergency landing. It was a required landing or some such PR-type language.
So it didn't crash.
Correct. So they could detect the source of the smell and ensure they had the full operation of the flight instruments. Anyway,
was there only one important person?
You're a bit of an aeroplane nuffy too, aren't you? You are massive in aeroplane. You would know exactly what type of aeroplane it was and what type of engine it had.
It was a 737-800, and any type of smell in the cabin is of some degree of concern because you don't want to lose any of your flight services or control.
Because of suffocation?
Well, that, and unfortunately, I don't want to go there, but Swiss Air was the precedent about in the 90s anyway.
Brownie had some odours on his flight, but it was garlic.
Yes. Man next to me.
So they got the plane back up in the air and they're all here?
They're all here, and they've just had the official function. In fact, Gil delayed his speech for both presidents to be in the room.
What about the car accident on the freeway this morning? Did any repercussions out of that?
Well, there is a slight repercussion. Obviously, McCreary's playing clearly, but Carmichael isn't, and Kruger's the sub. Now, I don't know if that's had a bearing on the selection.
Well,
but I know
Kruger was the sub last week, of course.
He was, yes. But there was some talk that Carmichael might have been the medical sub this week. So anyway, everyone's fine as a result of that car accident. Moving on to Brisbane and the retirement. Now, Mitch Robinson has officially retired overnight. He wasn't happy that he couldn't announce it post the win against Richmond. He said, devastated Fags, this is on Instagram, wouldn't allow me to announce this in person to the supporters and my teammates. But I guess that's footy. So how have they handled that the correct way, the Lions, you think?
Well, you don't know why they haven't allowed him. So maybe Chris Fagan wanted him to be in the game for if they did make the grand final. Maybe he was still in the picture of playing as a sub in the grand final, so he just didn't want the distraction of that. That might be it. So we know Mitch would have been loved to have played, but that's the only thing I can think of.
If you stop a player, if a player retires and and the coach says, no, I don't want you to make that public to your teammates, which is not really making it public, it's just your teammates, something's not right there.
We knew about it that night up in Brisbane.
Up in Brisbane.
It was a fairly open, for want of a better term, open secret amongst some commentators. Anyway.
Yeah, we knew.
But because he was in the side for that game against the Tigers, and then that's when he wanted to announce it. Is that right?
Yeah, so it looks like at that point he must have...
So he knew he was going to be dropped.
Oh, he wanted a Nathan Brown type send-off, where he wanted a few games to just for people to enjoy him.
A farewell lap. A couple. An interesting trade situation now at Brisbane. McStay, obviously, certainly in the end will go to Collingwood. Ashcroft had 39 touches. That's Will Ashcroft in the NAB Cup Grand Final last night. He'll come in, obviously, under father-son. So that's exciting for Lions fans. Gardner's an interesting one. He hasn't signed a deal. There's question marks in the league across trade circles as to why he hasn't signed. There's potentially some interest from North Melbourne or even Geelong there. But I think he just wants a little bit of extra money, and I think Brisbane will probably, in that regard, come to the party. The other interesting one...
I still don't understand why Collingwood want McStay. I don't understand how they think they need him with the players they have. I think
so he's the same as Mychek.
I think Mychek does that role. Yeah. I know McStay can go and play as a second ruck, and that was forced. Their hand was forced upon them, and he did a pretty good job against Richmond. But I see him being the same type of player.
He's down the line, absorb the pack.
I think Collingwood need a taller forward than that.
I think the view, Brownie, was that he's required to play up the ground as a result of Hipwood and Danaher, so he's been playing that type of role, and I think they want a penetrating kick from sort of outside, a reliable kick from outside 50. Now, is he suited to that type of role?
No.
Well, that's a bit of a worry for Pies fans. Obviously the deal, the touted deal is up to $600,000 a year in 4 or 5 years, so he's going there. And Dunkley is obviously the other big one this week. He'll make up his mind. It looks at this stage, unless the Bulldogs increase their financial offer, which would be difficult with their cap, that'll be Port Adelaide or increasingly likely Brisbane. So we'll get better visibility on that in coming days.
What is his problem with the Western Bulldogs? So he wanted to leave last year, and he's had a really good year again this year. So there's obviously something that makes him unhappy that he wants out of that football club. Well, is it the money?
I think it's a combination of the money.
That's what happened to me when I left.
No, I think it's the money and his partner. His partner's playing netball in Adelaide.
Right.
And he's from Brisbane. And I think she's just signed a new contract, which is, I presume, 1 or 2 years, and also the money. I mean, the Bulldogs have got some salary cap constraints. Speaking of visibility, there'll be a lot of discussion post this game about Buddy Franklin and which way he's leaning. I know Jacinta is in the AFL official function before. I said hello to Jacinta, but didn't ask Jacinta about Buddy's situation. Not that she would have given up too much detail, but that's going to be a big discussion point post today. Another person, BT, I bailed up before. This is an interesting story, was Brad Scott. And Brad and I get on pretty well, and I asked him whether he's officially part of the Bombers process, and he couldn't comment. He doesn't want his comments to be misconstrued, doesn't want to add to the dialogue. Now, interpret from that what you will, but he could just rule out the Bombers. He's the footy boss at the AFL on probably $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 a year. He's very, very appropriately well paid. He doesn't need to entertain this idea of the Bombers, but I think he's at least thinking of it. What do you think about that, Brownie?
He's a very good coach with a very good record, and I think Essendon need to at least have a conversation with him and lay it all on the table and try and entice him to go through what it is they want to go through. And I'm led to believe that Essendon have been told, the people on that coaching committee, to set aside anything you know about anybody being the James Hird factor and just comment on how they present in these negotiations and how they prepare themselves. Take out the James Hird or take out anybody's previous history in what they are about, just on this focus.
Tom, we've got to get going, so thank you very much for popping your head in. Come in at half-time and host if you want.
What does Brad Scott earn again?
Well,
7,
as a
8,
football
9.
boss.
Oh, no, you're doing the boundary,
the third or fourth highest paid executive at the AFL.
You're on the boundary.
On the boundary, BT.
Fantastic.
You can host
7, 8,
half-time.
9.
Yeah, I reckon you love numbers, don't you, Brownie?
That's what.
What's your guess for the football boss at the AFL?
Well, no, that did surprise.
I reckon it could be 7.
That's good going.
Let's
happy for it.
get to a break, and Brownie can speculate on how much exactly Brad Scott gets paid by the AFL to run the game. The Swans taking on Collingwood for a spot in a grand final against the Cats. Chris Scott and his men sitting pretty watching this one, where the teams are entering the field of play. We're getting closer and closer to the first bounce. For McDonald's and Remont Water, Triple M, Rocks Footy.
The Triple M Footy preview for the all-new Stealth Driver from TaylorMade, with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness.
For Remont Water and McDonald's.
Triple M Rocks Footy.
Now, when game day rolls around, there's nothing better than that winning feeling, making today the perfect time to play the Monopoly game at Macca's. And this year, there's a game-changing $578 million in prizes to be won.
How good is that, BT? You can deck yourself out in your team colours with a $10,000 voucher from the Iconic, or cook up a feast for your team with a Barbecues Galore premium barbecue pack.
Just go and download the My Macca's app and get in the game today. Ends 18th of October. Full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
The ultimate battle of 80s music. 128 artists, 512 awesome hairdos. Ooh, 73 mullets. Triple M's Flock of 80s Finals continues Monday at 11 a.m. Queen.
All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Gaga.
Taking on hunters and collectors.
See what I see? Do you see what I see?
Make sure you vote, because if you do, you've got a shot at 4 tickets to the Toyota AFL Grand Final. GFAFL 22/90. Triple M's Flock of 80s Finals. Monday at work. Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
Ned's early payout is on the AFL. Place a head-to-head bet on any AFL Finals game, and if your team is up by 20 points or more at half-time, you win. Take it to the Ned's level. First $250 staked. T's and C's apply. See website for details. Gamble responsibly.
Australia, it's time for a spring break, and Choice Hotels are bringing your next getaway one step closer with up to 10% off when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So when there's something to celebrate, book it. Or it's time to reunite, book it. Whatever the reason, get the lowest price guaranteed this spring when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead, book it with Choice Hotels. Select travel dates in October and November only. Book by October 7, subject to availability. T's and C's apply. See choicehotels.com for full details.
Hi, it's Nick Rebolt from Mercedes-Benz Brighton. Before you head to the footy, visit the best team in the competition. With more than 40 years' experience, the team of experts at Mercedes-Benz Brighton are best suited to guide you through your Mercedes-Benz journey. As Melbourne's only full-service Mercedes-Benz facility, you won't need to go anywhere else. For a premiership-worthy experience, visit the team at Mercedes-Benz Brighton today. 988 Nepean Highway, LMCT 443.
Hey, it's Daisy Thomas. Are you ready to get that winning feeling? The Monopoly game is back at Macca's and there's thousands of prizes to be won. In fact, there's over $578 million worth of prizes to be won, and you've got a 1 in 4 chance to win. Prizes include a VW Polo GTI, free Macca's for a year, a $1,000 Choice Hotels gift card, or a $1,500 Webjet gift card, and so much more. The Monopoly game is back at Macca's. Peel and scan to win today. T's and C's apply.
Sally's Liquid Nails Original has an upgraded formula, and it sounds like this.
All done, mate. See you tomorrow.
Strong with no string and less run-on, there's less mess. So you can get the job done quicker. Sally's Liquid Nails. If it's Sally's, it works.
There's something I've been meaning to ask you. I honestly can't imagine my life without you. You've always stuck by me, through the good times and the bad. You're my biggest supporter. My most trusted advisor. My best friend. Will you come with me to the Diamond Guys to help pick out a ring for Sarah?
Mate, I thought you'd never ask.
The Diamond Guys. Diamond experts, so you don't have to be.
Billy Brownless here. If you want to win 4 tickets to the AFL Grand Final, you can find out how Monday morning at 9 on Melbourne's Triple M.
Hi, I'm James Royce. Now, if you love the Royals, you're going to love this. The Prime Minister has confirmed the talks are underway for Prince William and Princess Kate to come to Australia next year. Now, at this stage, these discussions are only preliminary. The couple has not been down under since 2014. Now, this comes as Anthony Albanese prepares to meet with King Charles and the new British Prime Minister Liz Truss ahead of Monday night's funeral for the late Queen Elizabeth II. Thousands of police officers from across the UK are being sent to London to manage the big crowds expected for the funeral. International security expert John Blaxland says it will be one of the biggest security operations the UK has ever staged.
The security is going to be a very, very big feature of this whole plan. And no question, you've got the US president coming. You've got every world dignitary wants to be here. This is going to be bigger than Ben-Hur. This is going to be a massive show. It's going to be quite a spectacle.
Detectives in Perth are continuing their hunt for a man who's allegedly assaulted a teenage girl that he picked up from an oval in the city's south. The 16-year-old says she was attacked by the stranger who gave her a lift from Atwell on Thursday night. And Victorian emergency agencies are warning people to move to higher ground around parts of the Murray River, with minor to moderate flooding being experienced downstream from Tecumwell to Barham. Watching actors in place, those in the area should visit emergency.vic.gov.au for more updates.
Prime free one-day delivery is here. For Amazon Prime members on eligible items to select postcodes. Prime membership fees apply. Join Amazon Prime today.
Checking Triple O Melbourne weather, those showers have certainly arrived. Down to 10 tonight, more rain, and 16 tomorrow, then a couple of showers and 17 for Monday. Our listener app is the new home of Triple M.
With an average return of 9.25% per annum for the past 37 years, it's good to know CBUS are making your money work as hard as you.
Is that for shift workers, factory workers, builders and mechanics?
Yep, anyone who does hard work.
CBUS Super, making hard work pay off. To consider if CBUS is right for you, go to cbussuper.com.au for a PDS and TMD. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
Shut up! The footy's on
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Pepper Jack Wine. Crack open a wine with a character to match. Pepper Jack. When character counts. 18 plus only. Drink responsibly.
From McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks football here at the MCG. Sydney and Collingwood today, Brownie. You picked up, and it's an amazing pickup by you. It's highly intellectually IQ blow the top off it sort of thing, that you picked up that one team is red and one team is black here today.
I think this looks about. We love the MCG. It is the home of football. But looking at here right now, you've got Collingwood in the black and white, Sydney in the red and white, and the AFL and the ticketing department have segregated all the supporters. So you look around this stadium and you've got red and white in a row, then black and white, then red and white. And the Collingwood chant went around this ground only 5 minutes ago, and it was haunting for the Sydney players who would never have heard it before. The Sydney supporters here would have thought this isn't right, and there seems like there could be more Collingwood supporters here than Sydney supporters.
And those grouping of supporters, it stands out like dog's balls, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It's similar to what the EPL does it. But for different reasons.
It is like the EPL, as you mentioned there before, Brownie. All right, Lenny Hayes is with us, of course, as well. Liam Flanagan here, about to get underway. You just heard Nathan Brown then. Guys, let's delve into this game and find out exactly what's going to happen here, Lenny. How do you see this one panning out early?
Yeah, I think it's going to be on. Both these sides are great pressure sides. They're number 1 and 2 ranked in the competition. It's going to be fierce. It's going to be hot early. Expect Mills to go to either De Goey or maybe Crisp through the midfield. And the other one to watch is Clark, and who he goes to. Probably Dacos, Brownie, you'd imagine.
Well, he went to him, and he's played on the half-back, so he played on Jack Sinclair, he's played on Bailey Dale, so he's tagged the players that get a lot of the football, and Nick Dacos is obviously one of those. So interesting to see who goes to who in the Collingwood defensive lineup. You think that Darcy Moore probably should go to Lance Franklin, so Sam Reid's the one that could have a big game today. I mean, you put your efforts into Lance Franklin, you put your efforts into Isaac Heaney. Sam Reid has the ability to kick 6 goals in a big final. He has the ability to not touch the football all game as well, but he's certainly one I'd be worried about. If I'm Craig McRae coming into this game, Sam Reid would worry me what he can do to my defenders.
Other side of the coin, how much time has John Longmire put into planning for Jordan De Goey, who wasn't here when they played late in the season, but whose finals performance he's probably been Collingwood's best player?
Oh, he's been outstanding. So that's where you'd imagine that around stoppage that Mills would get the job on him. The only thing that De Goey does a little bit is he plays sort of centre forward. He doesn't get really deep into defence. So if they want to eliminate some of that run and carry, it might be someone like Crisp who starts up their ball movement in the back half that Mills puts even more time into. So that's going to be a watch and see. But De Goey, you can't allow him to come out the front of the stoppage. So damaging when he hits the scoreboard.
We saw the blueprint for that last night when they targeted Lachie Neale. So whoever was playing on Lachie Neale, and it wasn't one particular person, but every stoppage someone would stand next to Neale and they'd body him up, they'd push him, they'd just niggle him. And it upset him, and he couldn't get the clearances and the space out of those clearances that he wanted to. So Mason Cox for me is big today as well. It's a short ground, Sydney, so your big men are most important here, because when you get the long kick down the line, you want someone to be able to either take the mark or bring it to ground. He's kicked 5 goals in his last 6 games, Mason Cox, and I reckon the back half of his year has probably been his most consistent football since that 2018 preliminary final, that lead up into that grand final.
This is the Triple M footy preview for TaylorMade Golf, the all-new Stealth driver from TaylorMade with a 60-layer carbon face that delivers unparalleled distance and forgiveness. BT, Mason does have a bit of... He feels like he's bigger than when he got drafted physically. He's always been very tall, but he starts to throw his weight around a bit more at the moment.
Yeah, he does. Look, he's competing really well in the air. The thing I was noticed watching him warm up before, and he actually, the problem I think with his marking, Brand, is he doesn't catch the ball all the time unless it's presented absolutely perfect at the highest point. His body seems to slip under and he marks it almost a little bit behind, which is going to allow defenders a little bit more chance to actually get hold of the footy and spoil him as well. But he's certainly, look, he's only, 5 or 6 years into his whole football, learnings.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done, all of us in this box have done it since we were 3 or 4 years of age. He's had a very quick learning process, so you're going to see more improvement out of a guy like Mason Cox over the next couple of years, I reckon.
And Isaac Quainer would have a big job today. I expect him to go Isaac Heaney, so they give him all the big jobs. He's played on Toby Green, anybody that plays in the forward half who's 186 or below, and Isaac Heaney is that player. Isaac Quainer, what I love about him, he doesn't just defend, he goes for his marks as well, so he'll be offensive against Isaac Heaney.
Yeah, absolutely. Who goes to Papley?
Maynard, I think.
Yeah,
Maynard's the guy. I mean, aggressive around the football. He's a wonderful player. All-Australian this year, Maynard, as they start to assemble for the national anthem, Brian, and I'm looking at Chad Warner down there. I feel like if they let him get out of the front of the stoppage, Pendlebury, they started him at half-back at the start of this year. Slowly and surely, when they've needed him, they've put him back in the midfield. 2 finals for 34 disposals each final.
Hasn't he?
I reckon we've got 2 of the grand final umpires here today. Matt Stavicki's done 9 already. Simon Meredith, at All-Australian umpire this year, is 7. They're both out there. I reckon they'll both be named next week, depending on how they go today. So we're about to throw you down to the ground announcer very shortly. I see Hugh Sheridan out there in a rather unusual-looking suit.
Keep an eye out for how many players sing the national anthem. I think out of the 22 to 23 players, it's dwindled over the years. You go back to the 80s and 90s a lot.
What are they singing now?
They're just tight-lipped. Nobody sings anymore.
Right. Here we go.
Premier partner Toyota welcome you to the second preliminary final between the Sydney Swans and Collingwood Magpies. The AFL would like to acknowledge the Biddigal and Gadigal clans who occupy the Sydney coast and pay our respects to elders past and present. We acknowledge we play our great game on this land and respect the cultures of all First Peoples, their contribution to our nation and contribution to the great game of Australian rules football. To conduct an official welcome to country, please welcome Nolene Timbery, Chair of La Perouse Aboriginal Land Council.
The Welcome to Country is a ceremony recognising the cultural and spiritual connection to country and an opportunity to reaffirm our ongoing relationship to our land and waterways. The ceremony allows us to pay respect to our elders, to reflect on our history and to build a vision for a prosperous and reconciled future. I'm proud to be from the La Perouse Aboriginal community at Botany Bay, and like many of my community, have traditional and cultural connections to coastal Sydney, the Illawarra and the Shoalhaven. I would like to acknowledge the Gadigal and Bidjigal clans, who are the traditional occupants of the land we gather on. I ask that you join me in paying respects to Gadigal and Bidjigal elders, past and present, and on their behalf, I welcome you here today. This area of Sydney is significant to my community as a place to gather, compete and celebrate. Not too far from here, my ancestors gathered from Broken Bay, Botany Bay and the Illawarra for important conflict, ceremony and corroboree. The neighbouring areas around here were even used as seasonal Aboriginal camps right up until the early part of the 20th century. On behalf of the La Perouse Local Aboriginal Land Council, my ancestors and my people, I welcome you all here and I hope that you respect this land as my people have since the beginning of time. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Nolene Timbery, for that wonderful welcome to country. Now, if you are able, would you please now rise and join with the coaches, players and umpires for the Australian National Anthem to be performed by the very talented Hugh Sheridan.
Australian soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Good. Ah, yes. Hugh Sheridan, famous Packed to the Rafters actor, of course, and many other shows.
Thought he nailed it, Brian.
Yes.
Very good voice.
Yeah, he was very good. He matched the suit. That is
Not sure about the suit.
One other thing I was going to ask you, Lenny, is the break, the bye that Sydney have had, the week off that they've had. We saw Geelong with the week off last night. Before you fall into the obvious trap and say it's great for them, the figures, and I've been back a few years, have gone 5-3 against the team that's had the break.
Yeah, it certainly can. If you take momentum into a game, I was involved in the Giants when the Dogs came up and ambushed us at Giant Stadium there a few years ago, and it is a bit of an unknown. How do they come out? Are they a little bit rusty in the first 15 minutes? So if Collingwood can get a good start, pile on some pressure early, could go a long way for them winning this game.
Bob Jane, Team Arsenal gets downstairs. Tom Brown, give us a feel of that atmosphere down there,
BT,
Tom.
the atmosphere is incredible. The coin toss occurring as we speak. It looks like Sydney has won that and will kick to what's essentially the airport or the park's end at the opposite end, the Fox Studios end. In terms of the atmosphere, it's unbelievable. It's basically full. There's a few spots in the members. Craig McRae on the bench with his headset set on. I think the wind might be a factor in this game. It's blowing across the ground towards the Fox Studio side, the non-City side, the Bondi side. And I noticed during the warm-up that even Josh Dacos was sort of trying talks from around 50 at that City end. So it's going to be interesting to see that as a bearing on the game, guys.
Always been a big believer that the wings are really important at this ground, Lenny, whenever you play here. Side bottom and also Jack Crisp normally play the wings, and they've got a massive role to either not get sucked into the contest today and either be the outlet player or the one that defends so well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at their opponents, Dylan Stevens, McInerney, so some younger players for the Swans. It's an area where Collingwood could get an edge.
First prelim final at the ground since 1996, when one Tony Lockett sent the Swans into a grand final with that after the siren point. It was an iconic moment. This ground's been full of them, actually. You think back to Nick Davis and the 4 final term goals to break the hearts of the Geelong Cats all those years ago. That's the team waiting in the grand final.
Yeah, so Murphy starting on the bench is a bit of a surprise for me, Brian. So I would have thought that he would have had one of those tools, but you look down and they've gone quite small in their forward half. So they've got Franklin and also Reid, but then they've got the smalls. Heaney, Clark's down there, Papley, and also Mills playing in the forward line to start with.
Yeah, it's a nice little boutique stadium here, half the capacity of the MCG, so just remember that, Sydney-siders.
Clark gone to Dacos.
We're ready to go in the middle. Umpire holds it aloft. It's Matt Stevic, umpire of 9 grand finals. I think he'll get the 10th this year. We're ready to go. Cameron in the middle. Hickey also the opposing ruckman. MCG, been a beautiful day here in Sydney. A little bit of light wind, bit of cloud coming in now. No real ruckman in the middle until Hickey gaffed it out to Rowbottom. He banged it on the boot, spun it sideways inside. Reid got under it. Darcy Moore gets back and takes it over the boundary line quite deliberately, but well disguised. And we'll have a boundary throw in deep in the Sydney forward end.
Braden Maynard following very closely behind Tom Papley. That is something to keep an eye on. Boundary throw in.
Quain are trying to get to him now.
Swans forward 50. Cameron, front spot for the Pies. Followed it up, handball. Dacos couldn't take it clean, neither could Mills. A few early nerves from both sides. Then Quainor, loopy sort of handball. Boundary line, another throw inside the Swans forward 50. Game 200 for Jack Crisp as well.
I think that's the first time I've seen Josh Dacos fumble this year, so an early nerve for the young star.
Yep, noticed that as well, Brownie. Nathan Brown, Lenny Hayes in the box here. As our Seabus Super Special comments. Off the ruck was Reid, took it out, then got caught with the foot. He should have been an illegal disposal unless his hand did actually make contact.
No one appears to be going to Jordan De Goey, so Parker just standing probably 2 metres off him, but Parker in his forward half of the ground.
Reid took it out of the ruck, gave it to Rowbottom. Rowbottom a flying shot at goal, missed right. And a minor score, first to Sydney, 1 behind. Collingwood yet to score.
Good start around the clearances for the Swans. 3-1 up already. We spoke about that pre-game. Collingwood want to fix that up.
Triple M Red Z Lending stats. Red Z Lending loans for the self-employed. Nick Dacos on kicking duties, the rising star. He will have Ryan Clark follow him around every second of the game, you would think.
Smart to play on. He gets the stat out of the goal.
There you go. First kick on the board, Brownie. Long near side. McCartan, that's the Tom type. Big thump. There's a free kick. No, advantage paid. Parker takes the advantage. Luke Parker. The Swans captain gets the first. And the red and white faithful cheer. Swans 117. Pies yet to score. Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard, and Luke Parker straight up to Jordan to go and says, how do you like that, Jordan?
Well, the impressive thing about that was all the Swans defenders came down for the kick out, so they made the ground really small then, Lenny, and it was McCartan who jumped over the top. He's obviously playing in the defensive end, but fisted it back all the way to the 50-metre line. So when you get your defenders coming up and making an impact in the first couple of minutes of the game, it's outstanding.
Yeah, it is, and I just saw Tom Papley go straight to McCartan, so everyone got around Luke Parker for the goal. Papley went straight to McCartan for that big spoil that cleared the congestion. Great finish by Parker as well.
A little early for Parker to be going to Goey in this game. There's lots and lots of times to go, I would have thought. So to Goey having a crack back at Parker there. Here we go in the middle again. First goal to Sydney. They lead by 7. Beautiful bounce in the middle. This time it's Hickey again knocking in the path here of Pendlebury's. Handball was smothered brilliantly mid-air there on that occasion by Papley. Collingwood an opportunity. Here goes to Goey. Mills, side bottom, little nippy kick out there. Wasn't great. Did his best. Marked by Blakey. Centre half back here for the Swans.
True centre half back, Blakey with the footy. Lime green boots, the man they call the Lizard. He's forced to halt his momentum and go to the outer side, but Heaney, beautiful lead. He turns and burns and goes long and deep to the man, Buddy, who is out-muscled by Braden Maynard. Good mark for Maynard. Comes pocket, finds Noble.
Big win for the Pies early with that one.
Switch of side of the ground to Quainer, and Quainer had it thumped away by Hayward, and Sydney maintained it in their forward end.
He's 9 times out of 10, Brian. If Heaney wheels around with a 180 and you get it in quickly to Franklin one-on-one against Maynard, you'd be backing Buddy 9 times out of 10. Maynard won the one.
It was a bad misjudgment from Buddy. He just looked like he didn't get in the right spot for it. So a boundary throw in now. Reid doing the ruck work. He's done it 3 times and won it 3 out of 3. Flick in from Mills. Moore got hold of it, gave it to Chris, pulled the kick, just got rid of the handball to Cameron. Cameron a little kick in haste out of the defensive area to side bottom. Side bottom to DeGoey. Short ball, DeGoey's marked at half back. It was barely 10. DeGoey plays on around the corner. Inventive kick. Myercheck used the body on McCartan. Took a mark. Wheels around on the right boot. Sends a long ball inside 50. Collingwood got the numerical advantage here. Over the back it comes here to McCreary. McCreary around the corner, gave it to Ginnivan. He's boxed in, caught high. McCreary will get the free. He stood tall, got high. Exaggerated it, but it was there. Then he'll have a set shot at goal from 50.
Well, they moved the ball really quickly, so DeGoey gets the ball at half back, and instead of waiting for the easiest target to present itself, he just kicked it to advantage to Myercheck. It took a really good mark. That was how they weren't moving the ball when they played here in round 20.
Poor tackle by Stevens. Need to get low. Ginnivan now, as a result, 49 metres out. Kick across the face, won't register, it'll fall just short. Kept in play here by the Pies, and they run away with it now with McInerney.
McInerney down the corridor, risky kick. Howe floats, dropped the mark, unusual for Jeremy Howe. Ball on the deck, centre of the SCG. Numbers there for both sides. It's a scrap. Hayward tackle on Pendlebury. We're going to have a ball up, and Brownie, I think we have the answer to the question of would the Swans fans boo Jack Ginnivan?
They did.
They did.
The ball up in the middle of the ground. Umpire Andrew Stevens throws it up. Cameron wins it down. Chris tried to paddle it through. Mills there to stop him. Parker, little tap on. Row bottom put her head where no one else wanted to go. Banged it in, then he scratches the head. Franklin, a high acrobatic attempt at mark. Papley, a beautiful spinning pirouette out of trouble. Now the right boot goes forward without accuracy. Jeremy Howe marks for Collingwood in the last line of defence. It's 7-0 in favour of Sydney.
Early stages, first term. Sloppy kick from Darcy Moore. Maynard made up for it. Corridor opens up now for the Pies. Pendlebury waltzes through, finds Dacos. It's the man they want the ball in the hands of, and his kick didn't quite find the target. Good fist came late from Blakey, and now Parker v Pendlebury. He got him without the footy. Free kick Pies.
Geez, a good fist by Blakey. I thought he was completely out of position. I think the kick favoured him to his side, but he made up some ground on Johnson.
What are you thinking at the moment, Lenny?
Oh, fair start. Great to see by Collingwood just attacking through the corridor, getting the overlap run. Just need to capitalise here.
Pendlebury just pops it on the coin there at the top of the square. Cox got one hand on it. Couldn't reel it in. Picked up by Myercheck. The umpire's call you heard play on. Exclusively Mike today on Triple M with the umpires. Little clearing kick by Lloyd. Goes out wide. Franklin up at half back. He couldn't get it and he wants to box on right on the fence there with Maynard. And Maynard stood over him and tried to equal him. And we'll have a boundary throw in at half forward for the Pies.
Good for footy.
Boundary throw in right half forward, Lenny.
Oh, just the flexibility of the Collingwood defenders. Maynard been on Buddy a couple of times and got the points on him.
That is one to keep an eye on this afternoon. Cameron feeds it back to Pendlebury. Kick is smothered. Falls in the lap of Parker. McInerney 1-2. Parker has it back. Short chipping kick. Heaney rose up vertical, kept his feet. Beautiful balance, but he's fallen over now. Pendlebury, Dacos, lost the footy. Heaney back involved. Quick hands, Mills to Heaney. Corridor opens up now. Parker, he's been absolutely everywhere. Beautiful kick finds Buddy.
Franklin went to play on, little slip, but he's found Reid. Now Reid's mark. 55 metres out from goal is the man on the mark. He winds up, goes top of the square. Haywood's one-on-one. From the side was Stevens. Neither winner in the air. Soccer out of mid-air from Stevens. Stevens kicks the goal for Sydney. It's a fast-starting Swans. They've got a couple. And they lead 2-1. Collingwood yet to score on the Triple M Pepper Jack Wine scoreboard.
And another good finish for Sydney, but the Collingwood did the hard work. Ginnivan found himself in the back pocket there. They actually had an outnumbered, but the ball just spilled to the front there, Brownie. And really good play by Stevens, who's the winger, to crunch down and just create a little option there. But the Swans, you see how damaging they are when they are able to find that ball through the corridor, get it in there really quickly to 1v1s and been able to convert, whereas Collingwood have had a few chances, just haven't been able to put any score on the board just yet.
Side bottom came off Stevens. The side bottom saw, I think it was Ryan Clark running through the middle of the ground about 40 metres out, and he sensed the danger. So he went to Ryan Clark, which meant that Ginnivan then had to come up on his opponent, who was Stevens, but Stevens went all the way to the goal square. The kick went into the goal square. They tried to do the right thing, the Pies, but it just fell for Stevens.
Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M rocks footy. The Swans with a 13-point lead. Warner, the clearance inside forward 50. Mark taken by Murphy. The Pies will look to rebound. Howe comes wide, finds Bianco. Not much on up ahead. Forced to just possess the football for a moment. Left half back. Every single player on the field in front of him, and yet somehow he finds space for Quainer to take a mark right in front of the interchange gates.
Yep, right on the wing here. On the old stand side of the ground, if you like. The members' stand and the women's stand. Kicking to Cameron, quite deliberate. Tom McCartan got a tap away. Ginnivan sharked it off the edge. Had a bit of a miss kick. Went and picked it up. Myercheck with one hand. Immediately tackled aggressively by Mills. And he's pinned to the ground. We'll have a ball up 45 out from Collingwood's goal.
The kick from Quainer, which wasn't long down the line, it was a 45-degree angle punch towards centre-half forward. So we're seeing how Collingwood want to move the ball to that, the SCG.
We'll have another ball up here, although it spills out from Chris. Pendlebury stood tall in the tackle, didn't go to ground. Spills to ground now, Lloyd. Little handball, ends with Stevens of Sydney at half-back. He dashes away, kicks down the sideline. Maynard's got a lot to do on Franklin. Brought to the ground, but it's 3-on-1 in favour of Sydney. Goulden got the handball over the top here to Heaney. Heaney run three at half-forward and put it out of bounds on the fall. And a Collingwood free in the back end.
Good defence by Collingwood. They actually had numbers back. That's why Heaney held onto it for a little bit longer. Just didn't get enough purchase on the footy.
Lenny Hayes, Nathan Brown on the Triple M Seabus Super special comments this afternoon. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. It's been all the Swans so far on the scoreboard. 2-1-13. Collingwood yet to score. Down the line kick. Good mark taken. Strong grab by Ash Johnson. Unique footballing story. This young man, early stages of the career, but he's likely to take a mark of the year contender, you'd think. Long down the line, Myercheck the target. Cameron there as well. Hickey floated back, took the intercept for the Swans.
Had a poor start at the game, Darcy Cameron. He's been completely outplayed. That's a 50-metre against Myercheck. He was moving around the mark. So the first couple of stoppages went to Sydney out of the centre of the game. And then that was Hickey. Darcy Cameron hasn't been anywhere at the moment, got completely outmarked at half forward, needed to bring that ball to ground.
It's been a disastrous opening 10 minutes for Collingwood so far. It's been all the Swans. Hickey goes inside purposefully. Howe with a bit of a push there. Spills to ground. Picked up another one. Sydney have got 3. That was Clark. Clark's kicked it. Sydney have got 3 straight. Pulsating start by the red and white here. And they are right on top, 3-1-19. Collingwood yet to score, 11 and a half gone.
And we go back to Johnson, who had the ball on the wing, and the difference between his kick, Brownie, and Quayner's kick.
Yeah.
Quayner looked into the corridor, and I think that's where the Collingwood players were setting up. Didn't have the confidence to pull that kick, went long down the line straight to Hickey. We spoke pre-game about you just can't bomb it long down the line against Sydney. They'll hurt you. 50-metre penalty. Great contest from Franklin, wasn't it, in the forward 50 to bring the ball to ground, and Clark kicks a nice little snap.
And it's a massive bonus too when you're playing on somebody and you're tagging somebody and your whole job is to stop them from getting anywhere near the football. The ball comes in and he's right on him there, Dacos, but at the end he wants to get the ball himself, Dacos, so he's trying to push away from Clark. The ball's coming in, it's 15 metres out from goal. Dacos needed to defend first. He elected to get the ball himself, and that left Clark all on his own to kick the goal.
Ball back in the middle for Maccas and Ream Hotwater. Triple M Rocks footy. Pies need to find one. Early stages is steaming off the half back. Ollie Florent took the footy, gives it to Clark, the goal kicker. High, hopeful kick. Buddy v Maynard in the goal square. Buddy took front spot. Couldn't take the share and rushed through for a behind. Well, we might have a score review.
Tommy Papley got burnt on the 50 by Clark. He's still got his hands out. It's 15 seconds later, and Tommy Papley's still going at Clark. What about me?
I think we will.
Attacker kicked it across the line. Believe it's a behind. Behind, yeah. Score review. Umpires call as a behind. Please check.
Umpires marked up exclusively for Triple M. It looks to have been called a rush behind. The goal umpire just wanting to check whether or not a Swans player got the toe to it before it had fully crossed the line.
Really? What else could it be?
Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Get the new HP Envy X360 available now at Harvey Norman.
Quite quick with the replays up here, Brian.
No, there's a guy pedalling.
There's the arc. It's just
it's frozen.
It's just
we're trying to click into gear at the moment. The arc.
We're seeing it now. Darcy Moore rushes it towards the line. The ball. Did it completely bounce?
Looking at this angle, you can see the ball crosses the back of the goal line before being kicked through. Decision on the scoreboard.
So it will stand as a behind. The Swans will go to 3-2-20. Collingwood yet to score. Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard. Crack open a wine with a character to match. Pepperjack. When character counts, 18 plus only. Drink responsibly.
Bob Jane T-March, Tom Brown.
Buddy Franklin's now copped 2 or 3 big bumps. He's okay, but keep a close eye on it, particularly in his first half. He's been wearing some big ones, particularly from Darcy Moore in that last couple of contests.
Moore to Maynard. Maynard bucks in the back pocket. Short ball to Noble. Noble, defensive 50, all of this happening for Collingwood. So being careful and purposeful about the way they distribute the ball here. Eventually, as Sydney would hope, they forced them to kick a high ball to a contest down the line. Big pack of players forms. Out the back it comes. Reeds onto it. Gave the little handball to Fox. And he ran out of room. So between wing and half forward for Collingwood on the outer side of the ground, they trail 0-20.
And they've had less disposals so far, Sydney, so they're only a couple of disposals down, but they're 4 inside 50s up. Most of Collingwood's disposals have been in the back half of the ground.
Cox doing the ruck work for the Pies, wins it down in the side bottom direction. Goulden has laid a good tackle. Not going to be rewarded on Chris. We'll have a ball up right on the logos as the shadows stretch across the SCG. Twilight footy, perfect conditions. Warner at it with Dacos. Stood up, took the footy, handballed out the top, tried to release Clark, but he got there first. A powerful runner, drives his legs out of the contest, moves it forward for Collingwood. Swans win it back though. Blakey, corridor handball, finds Parker. Been best on ground, Luke Parker. Oh, he's turned the footy over here to Noble. He's caught very high. They might want to check Noble's head. Sam Reid nearly took it off.
Got it on centre ring, right on the Toyota logo. Noble wide, too wide for Hoskin Elliott. And out of bounds on the full.
It's good play by Sam Reid on the mark there, not to give up. Noble, a much quicker player, looked to get it on quickly, but Sam Reid just did enough to affect the kick and out on the full.
So anyone wondering whether Collingwood have taken them on through the middle yet, the answer is they just can't get the footy. So they're not even thinking about that. They're still trying to win the footy here. before they can do any of that. Reid, who's been sparkling so far in this game. Little ball here to Warner. Goes inside to Papley. Papley's marked at 55 metres out directly in front. He won't pass.
He's got the journey from there, Brian.
He's got it. So man on the mark, Quainer, is right on the 50 line.
One of the great celebrators of our game.
Yep, and and one of the great non-givers, I would say. Papley fancies himself, as Brownie said, from inside the centre square. Kick is there easily. Three-quarter post high. No problems from Papley. They have got a ripping start. They are 4-2-26. Collingwood are yet to score on the Triple M scoreboard.
Well, they're smashing him in clearances around the footy at the moment. The numbers look a bit even, but it's been the easy clearances out the front of the stoppage that Sydney have got, and then their big guys have gone to work. So Franklin hasn't marked the ball yet, but as you said, Len, he's brought it to the ground a couple of times. But Reid has always been one-on-one, and he's been the one that's causing the damage. He's been the one that's clunked it 3 times so far, fed the ball off quickly, and then it's just been too quick with ball movement for the Sydney for Collingwood at the moment.
And we spoke about Papley too. We knew as soon as he kicked that ball, didn't even look at the goals. He just looked at the celebration and he was up and about. But he's such an important player to the Swans, been a real barometer for them this year. He's had a good start in this game.
Did you ever celebrate like that, Lenny?
I didn't kick enough goals, mate.
Brownie?
Yep.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M Rocks footy, the bounce will be recalled. 4 straight goals to the Swans. Collingwood yet to tick over the scoreboard.
Someone needs to make a statement here for the Pies. Dacos, DeGoey's in there, Pendlebury, they need to get their hands on it.
Cox wins it down. Pendlebury, here he is, around the body, inside forward 50. They need a mark, can't get one. This is where the Swans have been so good at rebounding. McCartan, hands and knees. That's the Tom variety. Paddy down there as well will have a ball up inside. Pies forward 50.
We're 45 metres out from Collingwood's goal. We've played some 18 minutes in this first quarter already. Collingwood yet to score. Reid of Sydney has played well, and in the ruck here won that tap. We'll ball it up again. Myercheck, last man up off the deck. Umpire throws it up again. This time Cox got a hand on it. Little handball comes out and Sydney go again up towards Franklin. Got a poor bounce. Dacos, that's Nick. Ripped in the tackle but stood up and got it off to Howe. He's mauled by a couple of Swans. One Clark, one Franklin. And then Franklin rubbed his head in the deck as well. And he says to Nick, Dacos, you're gone. And Howe, as quick as a flash, put Franklin on his back. He wheels around the back for the kick now, Franklin. And Howe gave him a little rib tickler as well, if you don't mind. Papley off hands. Hayward's got it. Back to Papley. Takes on Noble court. Caught cold, should have given the handball. Collingwood play on, and Noble's away to side bottom.
It is frantic stuff at the moment. Collingwood desperately searching for their first goal of the game as side bottom streams to the outer side, but he missed Hoskin Elliott with the kick. Swans win the footy back. Side bottom wants to make up for the mistake. Cameron goes the barrel. It's a wobbler. Inside forward 50 now. Tom McCartan went the tap, gave it to brother Paddy. Backwards to Rampy. Hoofs it high, hoofs it wide. Darcy Cameron will stand underneath it. Side bottom, Goulden was outnumbered, did really well. Swans win the footy. Here goes Warner, streaming across the logos. Clever kick, corridor finds Hayward.
So in the middle of the ground, Hayward immediately on the right boot, looking for Papley on the lead. Heaney's there. Moore, a wonderful save with the left hand. He'll follow up and get the ball near the boundary line. Moore, so they've got a little bit of freedom, and Moore ran into the brick wall. That was Rowbottom. Got it to Pendlebury. Lightning hand from Pendlebury to Howe. And Howe now with a wide kick to Lipinski.
Lipinski lowers the eyes to Goey. Some clean football now for the Pies. He drops it into the pocket. He wants Big Mason. Can the American stand up? In fact, he's still on the deck as the ball's in dispute. Ginnivan juggles it, dropped it, holding the football. Free kick, Swans.
Zero space for Collingwood at the moment. Every time they look up, they've got pressure coming from the back, from the side, from the front. Even Darcy Moore ran into a player he didn't even know was there, and they're still getting their handballs out, but then the next player is under pressure, then the next player under pressure. Sydney's game is too good.
Free kick here to Paddy McCartan. It's 26 plays 0 in favour of Sydney in the opening quarter. High ball, Howe knocks it down. DeGoey was there. Bianco was pushed out of the way pretty easily by Stevens. Goes back, applies the tackle on Stevens. Drives his nose into the turf, and umpire Stevic says, give it to me, fellas, we'll ball it up at half forward for Collingwood. Umpire immediately starting at Cox. Little knockdown here to De Goey. De Goey caught by Rowbottom, got him a little high, but the umpire said it was enough. Free kick for Sydney. The advantage paid now. Mills has kicked it out of bounds on the full, and Howe will have the free kick.
16 tackles to the Swans, the Red Dead lending stats, 11 to Collingwood. So it's been a red hot start to this game, but Sydney just got the edge in that department.
Someone needs to stand up other than Scotty Pendlebury. He's had 8 disposals. The next best is 5, which is Jeremy Howe and Darcy Moore, who are both defenders. So their midfield need to start to get their hands on it.
Collingwood looking for leaders right now. Quaynor, the centre-half forward. Again, though, this Swans defensive 6 win the football as Rowbottom goes around the body. Centre circle, Pendlebury, the reliable, ever-dependent. Spears inside forward 50. Ginnivan put the mark down. Fox at the full. Here comes Florent for the Swans, wide. Makes it a foot race. Heaney v Howe. Heaney got there first. Howe got rid of Heaney. Quaynor got there in support. Won the free kick. Isaac Quaynor working hard across half-back for the Pies.
The half-back line saved them on a number of occasions now. Noble, a great tackle on Papley about 5 minutes ago, saved a certain goal. They're standing up. They need the mids to get going, as Brownie said.
Still 7 minutes remaining in this first quarter. As Quaynor drives a long ball, Cox bound and he marks right on 50. A little bit too far out for Cox, though, I reckon.
Good attacking kick from Quaynor again.
Yep, it was to the point of the square, Brownie. Long ball into Cameron. He dropped the mark he should have taken. Hoskin Elliott around the corner. Goals! Collingwood have got there first. It came at the 22-minute mark. One straight Collingwood. 4-2-26. The Sydney Swans on the Triple M Pepper Jack Wine scoreboard.
It was 2 really intelligent kicks, wasn't it? The first one from Quaynor, we've already seen him do one of those to centre-half forward and just allowed Cox to run into it. And then, as Brian said, Cox didn't have the journey from there, and he saw Darcy Cameron, and his kick was a 45-degree angle kick. It was a disappointing drop from Darcy Cameron. He got lucky that he had support at the ground level by Hoskin Elliott, who kicked the goal, but Darcy Cameron's first quarter hasn't been one to remember so far.
A good strategy to come back inside, as you said, Brownie and BT. I feel they need to do that. If they go straight line against the Swans, they're going to get marked against them, not going to find an avenue to goal. So really smart play, and they needed that one.
Triple M Rocks footy for McDonald's. Score a 1 in 4 chance to win with the Monopoly game at Macca's. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au. The ball is back in the middle. 26-6, a 20-point lead for the home side. There is plenty of black and white in the crowd. It's a full house at the SCG. Swans look to move forward again. Goulden put the mark down. Warner, time to get up. Give it to Blakey through the middle. The Lizard lowers the eyes. The kick was partially smothered. Quaynor again been tremendous for Collingwood in this first term. And the pressure is released to Bianco.
So Bianco out wide is a beautifully created kick from Lipinski initially. Now Elliott, first touch I think it is. Maybe second. Short ball finds Lipinski almost on the wing. So looking to chew off a bit of corridor action here. Lipinski looking for and not finding a player in Crisp. Little handball out the back. It comes from Sydney to Hickey. Hickey a high ball. Sydney wing bound. Up goes Rowbottom awkwardly. Knocked down by Lipinski. Crisp got on the end of it. Paddy McCartan's got a good bounce here. Able to run straight at the footy and find an opportunity here with Florent on half back with a short ball.
Ollie Florent, the speedster, doesn't have space to run on this occasion. Goes short, finds Stevens, who around about round 15, he really pegged down a spot in this side. High draft pick, taken at number 5. Down the line, right half forward for the Swans. McDonald, Dacos now. Pendlebury, been excellent, great handball. Rashudo he found Lipinski. He gives it off to McCreary. Streams inside, 50 to the top of the goal square. Oh, and he just had too much on it for Ash Johnson. Will have a boundary throwing right forward pocket.
Just faded late, that kick, didn't it? He was out. It just didn't have that penetration. And
just slightly to the wrong side of him, wasn't it?
It was. Missed opportunity there.
It was. It was a beautiful run by McCreary. Collingwood looking dangerous in the last 5 minutes. Been all Sydney prior to that. Boundary thrown in their forward pocket here. Fox has got on the end of this for Sydney. Little left foot kick from the back pocket. Finds Reid almost at half back, and Quaynor sees it over the line and out of bounds. Tom Brown at ground level for Bob Jane team marks.
McCreary overbaked that kick because there's a strong breeze going to that pocket. I'm not sure we'll see a lot of goals up that end. I think there's Sydney end. Clearly they're dominating the game. Is definitely the scoring end.
For Bob Jane team marks, Bob Jane team marks look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today, bobjane.com.au. Tom Brown telling us that the right of your radio dial is the scoring end. That's where the Swans are kicking. If Collingwood can jag a couple against the breeze, it'll be helpful. And here's an opportunity for number 2, Jamie Elliott.
We asked for some more midfielders for Collingwood to start getting the football. Just in the last 5 minutes, it's been Lipinski. He's had 3 disposals in that last 5 minutes, and he's been one of the players that's set them up. Pendlebury still leading the way with 10. The next best at Collingwood is Lipinski on 5.
Jamie Elliott, just 25 metres out from goal, 45-degree angle. It's a tricky matchup, Robbie Fox. But Elliott is on the runway on the way in. Bright orange boots. He'd love this. Listen to the Collingwood travellers. They've come by trains, planes and automobiles to get here today, and their team has the second goal on the board. Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard. 2 straight 12. Sydney Swans 4-2-26.
Just watching the Harvey Norman replay, Elliott was just able to get a little bit of separation off Fox. He read the quick kick forward. All good forwards are in front, Brownie, when those quick kicks come in. And you spoke about early in this match, they were winning clearance. They're matching the Swans inside. Now they're getting a little bit of reward because they're able to chain through a little bit more.
We're looking through the stats now. Sydney dominated the early running, but they're only 3 disposals up. The contested footy's only a difference of 2. The inside 50s are 13 apiece. Sydney have got 4 more tackles, and the clearances are 8 apiece for Triple M Red Z Lending.
And Tom Brown giving us some context on the wind as well, so it's important that is pushing, Tom says, towards the end, of which Sydney are kicking here early. Back in the middle we go, Hickey. Crisp as well out the back is Papley. Papley with the don't argue on Cameron, and now the penetrating ball back inside 50. Once again, Franklin G. Reid got a push on the back. No free there. Quainer and Reid go at it. Quainer wins out. Little handball though. It's intercepted here by Warner. Warner got it to Buddy. Buddy shoots the handball out wide. Overusing it here. They're going to run out of track. Clark was caught. Dacos got the ball out. Fierce pressure. Some real heat on it. Warner's got it. Right foot snap around the body. Franklin over the back goal. Sydney creates something out of nothing off the boot of Warner. Just when it looked like Collingwood are mounting a little challenge. 5-2-32. Collingwood 2 straight 12 on the Triple M Pepperjack wine scoreboard.
Just having a watch of a couple of Collingwood players. They've got a few injury concerns at the moment. Looking behind the football, and Murphy just pointing towards his rib, saying he caught one in that last exchange. But luck's a fortune for Warner. He was tucked up on the boundary line, and he had no right to kick that goal. But Noble found himself one-on-one with Franklin in the goal square. It's not a spot you want to be. I thought Noble did a pretty good job, but the ball got over the back and rolled through. But Sydney worked their way through that one really well. A lesser side Lenning would have copped the football up. Collingwood's pressure in that back pocket was outstanding, and normally this year they've won the footy back, Collingwood, by doing that. But Sydney just able to keep the ball alive and ended up with a goal.
Chad Warner, 21 years of age, picked 39 in the draft. Bit of a steal given what he's turned into. Ball back in the middle. Collingwood need to answer. Crisp streams out of the centre square. Quick as you like. The Pies have got number 3. Jack Crisp in game 200 has launched one from 60. And this game has caught fire, Lenny Hayes.
Centre bounce goal, absolutely crucial. I think the last time these guys played here, they won centre bounce, but they only kicked one behind for all their dominance. So Crisp just wrapping through there. The sweeper from Sydney got caught on his man. The whole front of the square was open. And we spoke about the wind going against Collingwood. So that was a great low penetrating kick, got a nice bounce. And that's, yeah, brilliant goal by Crisp.
Collingwood have kicked 3 of the last 4. Just a little bit of lip creeping into this game as well from both mobs. And a good one from Chris from long range. So it's back to a 14-point margin in favour of Sydney here. And Pastevic to get it rolling again. Crowd loving it. Rampy some words to Myercheck, and Tom McCartan involved as well. Hickey wins the knock. Chris won the punch out though. Got it to centre half forward for Collingwood. Little miss kick there by Sydney. It doesn't matter. The handball to Papley. He's caught with the footy. The Collingwood pressure is now good. A little one there. Came off the boot of Florent, but it was under pressure. Spills to side bottom. He sockets it off the ground out wide to Johnson. Johnson paddles it in front of McCartan. He was hoping for the boundary line. He got it. So that's a win for Collingwood as well as they lock it inside their forward 50 with a stoppage play to come for them. And we have got 2 minutes and 22 seconds in the first remaining.
Little tip of the cap to the late great Richie Beno at this fantastic cricket ground here. Boundary throw in. Rowbottom got the clearance. Good mark taken by Murphy. But everything's in front of him now. He'll be dropping it on the head of a dozen players or so. Myercheck comes from deep. Had to compete against Tom McCartan. Hayward to Florent. Handball to the pocket. Hayward dropped it. Fell in the lap of Dacos. He doesn't need too many opportunities. The kick is smothered though. Lipinski. Ball still in dispute now. 40 metres out from the Pies goal. Florent just wants to clear the danger for a moment as Sidebottom leads the race.
Sidebottom and Franklin, it's going to be Sidebottom first. Got a difficult bounce. It set up the tackle for Franklin. And all he could do was defensively tackle him over the boundary, and he did. Now there's a Sydney player down, and I think there's a free kick off the ball given by Andrew Stevens here. It'll go to Sydney, and it will be McInerney out there on the wing.
It's got a late bump from Maynard.
So McInerney has the free here, taking his time to get up and take the kick. Short little ball along the line to Mills. Mills marks Sydney, patient build up here. 1:23 remaining in the first quarter. Mills goes long and deep. All the big boys are there. Reid marks uncontested in the forward pocket. He is deep. He's 25 out. He's on an acute angle, but he has the ball in hand.
Yeah, it's a good mark by Reid. Spoke about it before the game, but I don't want to harp on Darcy Cameron, but I just don't see him being aggressive enough at the moment for how big he is. I know he had two players to contend with, but just had to bring that to ground.
I agree with you. Reid's going to run around on the right boot and snap the goal, and he's got it. No problems. So Sydney have kicked 6 first quarter goals to Collingwood 3. 6-2-38. Collingwood 3 straight 18 on the Triple M Pepper Jack Wine scoreboard here. And there's a lot of malice and intent in this game at the moment.
Certainly is. And we go back to centre wing there. It was Maynard who just gave away that free kick when the ball was going out of bounds. And Swans a more patient build-up, set up the numbers in the pocket, made it 2v1. We spoke about targeted Cameron. And Reid was able to take a nice mark and a really good finish by Sam Reid, who's a confidence player. But to get on the scoreboard early, do his confidence the world of good.
It's a big price to pay. 48 seconds to go. That ball just needed to be fisted over the boundary line. It was a high, long ball. And now Darcy Cameron will know. He'll know that he should have brought that ball to ground. So his next contest right now in the ruck against Hickey with 48 seconds to go before quarter time is crucial.
20-point lead on the Triple M Pepper Jack Wine scoreboard. Crack open a wine with a character to match. Pepper Jack, when character counts, 18 plus only. Drink responsibly. Ball back in the middle. There's a free kick. He's not going to be paid. We'll have another ball up. Braden Maynard is trying to fight everybody out there in a red and white jumper today, Lenny Hayes.
Yeah, love the way.
At Buddy, at Papley, at Heaney.
He's done it all year. Love the way he plays.
McInerney takes the clearance inside forward 50. Chance for the big butts to late. Full-chested. 40 metres out directly in front. The siren will sound before he kicks it as we count it down with 20 seconds left. And I think if he does, it's Braden Maynard standing the mark and he might run through him. Lenny?
Very hard to stop that as a defender. That ball used coming inside 50 just on a platter for Big Buddy. But Maynard was caught a metre or two behind. Franklin just read the drop of the ball and the entry a little bit quicker.
Siren will sound mid-kicking action, you'd think. He crosses the 50-metre stripe. Leans back on it. Oh, and he's pushed it to the right. So the teams come together. Quarter time siren sounds. 6-3-13. The Swans have absolutely shot out the blocks against Collingwood, who did well to get 3 of their own majors. It's the Swans and Collingwood fighting for a spot in the grand final to take on the Cats at the SCG for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M, Rocks Footy.
That quarter for Pepper Jack Wine. Crack open a wine with a character to match. Pepper Jack. When character counts. 18 plus only. Drink responsibly.
For McDonald's.
Triple M Rocks Footy.
Score a 1 in 4 chance to win the Monopoly game at Macca's. Ends October 18. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Triple M is your home of the Marty Sheargold Show.
Well, our pie fact today was from Amy on the Loz line.
Yeah.
About medieval pies, which the recipe called for oysters, pine kernels, coxcombs.
One of Matthew's favourite pies.
Yes. We wondered, is the cockcomb on a roof?
Cockcomb, I think it is. Cockcomb, different thing. That's for the American.
Yes.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
Right now, get half-price big brand vitamins and cosmetics at Chemist Warehouse. T's and C's apply.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Kick off the footy finals and score a great deal at Dan Murphy's. Shop unbeatable prices in store or online at danmurphys.com.au. Conditions apply. Choose to drink wise. Dan Murphy's.
Real Aussies are winning big with the Monopoly game at Macca's. Like previous Monopoly game winner Caleb from Victoria, who won a home entertainment package.
I was shocked. Turned to the missus. She was shocked. We both didn't believe it. Pretty blown away.
Download the My Macca's app and play today. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Australia, it's time for a spring break, and Choice Hotels are bringing your next getaway one step closer with up to 10% off when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So when there's something to celebrate, book it. Or it's time to reunite, book it. Whatever the reason, get the lowest price guaranteed this spring when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead, book it with Choice Hotels. Select travel dates in October and November only. Book by October 7. Subject to availability. T's and C's apply. See choicehotels.com for full details.
Measure up on site with the latest laser distance measure from Bosch Professional Measuring Tools. The new 100-metre laser distance measure GLM 100-25C. Your new best mate on site. Featuring zoom function for long distances, red beam laser, fast documentation with Bluetooth via the Measure On app, backed by a 6-year guarantee. The Bosch 100-metre laser distance measure GLM 100-25C. Available at Bunnings Warehouse, Total Tools and Sydney Tools.
Hi, Luke Dallas here. If your goal is to work in the building and construction industry, then follow my footsteps to study at TIV. Specialising in building and construction since 2007, TIV's training and student support will be with you every step of the way. Follow TIV's pathway in becoming a registered builder, estimator or site manager in face-to-face or virtual classes. Apply online, learn now and build your future faster with TIV.
Enrol now at tiv.vic.edu.au. Government funding available for eligible applicants. RTO 21920.
Listen up, everybody. Kogan Mobile's award-winning prepaid prices just got even better. You can get started with Kogan Mobile for just $2.90 for 30 days. That comes with unlimited calls, unlimited texts, plus a big 20 gig of data. There's no hidden costs, just amazing value with no bill shock. Thousands of Aussies have been making the switch to Kogan Mobile thanks to the quick and easy activation. So make the call. Switch to Kogan Mobile from just $2.90 for the first 30 days at koganmobile.com.au.
Score a great deal at Dan Murphy's for the footy finals. Beat the crowd and shop online at danmurphys.com.au for delivery in under 2 hours or pick up in under 30 minutes. Kick off the footy finals at Dan Murphy's. Conditions apply. Choose to drink wise.
Hit the road with a 1 in 4 chance to win with the Monopoly game at Macca's. Win prizes like a year of free Wilson parking, a new Volkswagen Polo GTI with 5-year care plan, and more. Download the My Macca's app and play today. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
After speaking to Gamblers Help, 95% of people feel better. So, talk to someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help. Triple M rocks footy on Melbourne's 105.1.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
Just had a little sing-along here at the SCG with a bit of Sweet Caroline, and it was nice for the Sydney supporters because they are in brilliant form. 6-3-39 Sydney leading Collingwood 3 straight 18. Tom Brown at ground level for Bob Jane team-ups. Tom. Come back to Tom when he's got something to tell us. Let's get a thought from Lenny Hayes.
Mate, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great start by the Swans who got out of the blocks, as you said, BT. I thought Collingwood worked their way back into the game around contest and clearance. They were able to chain through a little bit and actually kick a couple of goals, but those late ones that the Swans got were really costly to the Pies. So looking for a good start from the Pies mids, who can probably lift to go. He's only had 3 touches. Lipinski 5, Hoskin Elliott 1, side bottom 4, Josh Dacos 1, so they can get more out of that midfield group.
Some of the Red Z lending stats there from Lenny Hayes. Beacon Trade scoreboard, a 21-point Sydney advantage. Liam Flanagan, as we're about to start this second quarter of footy.
6 goals, 3:39. The Swans came out, started the better of the two. Collingwood fought their way back into it, but momentum well and truly in favour of the home side. As we wait for the countdown, Tom Brown did tell us that the breeze is favouring the right of your radio dial. That is where Collingwood will be kicking in this second term. So have faith, Pies fans. This is the opportunity to answer back as John Noble and Cal Mills have a push and shove for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy underway. Hickey and Cox. The bounce will be recalled. Tom Hickey not given a fair crack at that one. We'll have a throw up. Tom Hickey at his 4th club, the first player to ever play for 4 different clubs in 4 different states. And he's enjoying his time at the Swans, but here come the Pies. Crisp, handball forward to Lipinski, needs to keep it moving. Elliott, time to assess. Pies are on the board in the second term. Elliott's got 2, and that goal came inside 30 seconds. Lenny Hayes on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And we saw in the first quarter they were able to score a centre bounce goal. There's another one, and Jordan De Goey was the player who he actually didn't take possession of the ball, but he was the one that put the pressure on. Bodies flying early, just able to tap the ball out to the advantage of his teammates, and then Collingwood just a nice chain of 3 or 4 handballs to get it to Elliott, who was able to convert on his left. So brilliant start for the Pies in this quarter.
So a 15-point margin it is here. Now, as a result of that Elliott goal, which was done very quickly, 2 goals now to Jamie Elliott. Tom Brown downstairs, Bob Jane teammates.
Yeah, the Pies clearly need Darcy Cameron to lift, and it was up to Josh Fraser at quarter time. They spent about 2 or 3 minutes one-on-one time. They obviously need to get more significantly out of him.
Okay, so back to the middle we go. Can score quickly, the Pies. We've seen that about them all of this year. Tom told us in the first quarter that the wind was pushing quite swiftly to the end, which Collingwood are kicking now in the second quarter. It was a 9-goal collective first quarter. Out of the middle is Sydney's Warner. Goes high, Franklin. Outmarks Moore. 20 metres out directly in front, perhaps 25.
How important the clearance is becoming this game of football. We've seen goals out of the stoppages time and time again. Jack Crisp kicked one. Collingwood just got one. Then the first one out again, and Lance Franklin got a pretty easy mark.
So Franklin lines up no more than 20 metres out from goal here, perhaps 25. This would be a good evener as well, and drills the goal, no problems. Franklin gets his first goal of the game after that late miss in the first quarter. And Sydney extend the margin, 7-3-45 to Collingwood, 4 straight, 24.
Bit of a concerning matchup. I think the Maynard one on Franklin now. Just a couple of times he's able to get separation, read the flight of the ball. We know Buddy's not a great or well known for his overhead marking, but geez, he's flown at some contests in this game and he's getting some reward for it now. So I think the Collingwood coaching box, the alarm bells will be going off about that matchup where they need to mix some things around and get a bit more out of Maynard.
Well, Jeremy Howe is the one that could go to him at the moment. So Jeremy Howe's playing on Isaac Keaney. For me, it seems like a pretty easy rollover. You swap those 2 over, and it should be... Maynard's had a couple of wins on him, but he's looked dangerous, Franklin, hasn't he?
Yep.
Maynard just wiped the baby oil off of Buddy's arms. I don't know if that's a smart decision.
It's not going to be a smart decision when he's trying to mark the footy.
No, for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Ball back in the middle. 21-point lead to the home side. Mills, ferocious tackle on De Goey. We're going to have a ball up. Game 340 for Buddy. Draws level with the great Andrew McLeod. Total games played, another Indigenous superstar of the game. Ball up, Hickey and Cox and De Goey wrapped up by Parker, and we'll still have another ball up right in the centre of the SCG.
The umpire Andrew Stevens, Cox with the tap out in the Dacos direction. This is Josh, and scrapped for the footy result, and another ball up, I reckon. No, somehow it got out. Came off the boot of McInerney. It might have been in there as well. Pendlebury couldn't win it. Crisp did. got busy. Chris banged it to half forward. Myercheck needs to find something. He has out the back door, gathers, left foot snap towards the top of the goal square. McCartan the mark. Play on, said the umpire, he dropped it, then the smother was brilliant from Elliott. Ricochets back into the goal square. Lloyd says rush it from behind. Fox didn't know what to do. But Lloyd, Fox has caught now. A dribble towards the boundary line. Picked up by Tom McCartan. He handballed to himself, then tried to get it over the boundary line. Comes back. Sydney under enormous pressure for really the first big patch of play from Collingwood in the game.
But Sydney did well, though. I mean, that time and time again, it looked like Collingwood were going to win the footy back with a free kick either and get the ball back on the ground level. But Sydney just so good. They were under pressure, but they remained calm and they got the ball where they wanted it.
Inside forward 50 for the Pies. Triple M Seabar Super special comments. Nathan Brown, Lenny Hayes. As side bottom is relieved of the football by Goulden, but he's wrapped up by Jamie Elliott, the only multiple goal kicker on the ground so far. And we'll have another ball up. 40 metres out from Collingwood's goal. They trail by 21 points.
Umpire Stevens throws it up again. Cox knocked down by Hickey. Hickey bangs it on the boot. Franklin coming alive, has taken the mark on the wing. Got in front of Maynard, took a bounce. Now he wheels back onto the left boot. Came back a little bit too much. Got a dribble along the ground. Effective to Mills. Mills shot out the handball. Here goes Clark. He's tackled by Murphy. Slipping the tackle. Now the kick to Reid on the lead. And he marks 45 out with a little bit of angle about it, Reid. He plays on as well with a little chip ball over the top, and now an opportunity for Goulden to have a shot at goal from about 25 to 30 metres out. Bit of angle about it. Goal apiece in the second. Goulden's going to kick around the corner. Pendlebury on the mark. Goulden snaps the ball, got it straight on, I reckon, a little bit short. And a minor score, so 7-4, 46 to 4 straight 24 Collingwood.
All of a sudden, Lance Franklin up to 4 marks. He's looming large at the moment, with his opponent being Maynard, just getting some separation from him.
Collingwood exit near side of the SCG. They keep it moving forward. Boundary line will probably be a win. Jack Chris wants to keep it moving. Eventually the boundary line wins out. Throw in right in front of the interchange gates.
So Collingwood just organising their midfield structure from the forward line. Jamie Elliott was just pointing to Ginnivan going, you go up to this stoppage and sit at the back of it to play that defensive role. And now he tells McCreery to come up. And that's how organised Collingwood are. You need to be organised when you're playing against Sydney, but it's good direction from those two players.
Mason Cox went 3 times and tried to shovel it forward, but again, this Swans defence intercepts the footy. Side bottom was brave. Went back and took a really good mark on the Logos near side. They trail by 22 points. 7 minutes played, second term.
Side bottom now plays on from the wing. Unhindered. Goes long and deep. Myercheck's got the set. Free kick off the ball. It might go Cameron's way. It does. Interference in the marking contest. So Darcy Cameron will give it a look here from about 30 metres out, and he certainly needs to do something. Blakey, I think the offender.
Yeah, not subtle at all, was it? Just stepped in front of his line and...
He's got all his scales in front of him.
Not incredibly smart.
And then argued with the umpire.
So Cameron is about 10 metres inside the boundary line. He's 30 metres out. Perhaps a 45-degree angle. In he comes. Cameron on the way, guides it through with a magnificently crafted kick. And Collingwood have kicked 2 goals to 1 in this second quarter. 5 straight 30 Collingwood. 7-4, 48 the Sydney Swans on the Triple M scoreboard.
So you're a midfield coach, Lenny, and we just saw a great example of a stoppage where their forwards were organising their midfielders, and then that allowed side bottom to be at the back of the pack. Sydney get a quick kick, and because they set up so well, side bottom was able to mark it back on the wing.
Yeah, great pick-up, and another match-up in that midfield that's been great to watch is Crisp versus Mills, but you're exactly right, mate. That was just really good structure, and what helps that is the forward pressure. I think the pressure by Collingwood this quarter, they've come out with some real intent to get after the Swans, and it's helping them kicking goals.
Ream Hot Water, built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream. The Pies 2 goal to 1 quarter, as BT said. 5 straight. They're perfect in front of the sticks so far, but they trail by 16 points. Ball back in the middle. Hickey and Cox. Hickey held on to the football. Got it to Parker. Kick out of mid-air. Contest. Quaynor, Rowbottom, centre forward for the Swans. Crisp, side bottom. Quaynor been excellent. Just thumped it forward. It made it someone else's problem, but Tom McCartan gets there for the Swans at true centre half back.
Move's been made. Jeremy Howe is now on Franklin.
There you go. First big move of the game, or first big switch move of the game. In the meantime, Lloyd's got the ball in the half-back line here for Sydney. Just goes sideways to Blakey. The Lizard. Just a little chipping ball to Mills. Mills, true wing position here. Blakey saying, no, I don't want it.
He did, though.
Collingwood have kicked 5 of the last 8 goals, if you want to look at it that way, or you can say Sydney had a ripping start when they kicked the first 4. Marker's been paid here. It'll go Sydney's way to Hickey. Umpire Simon Meredith right on the spot, the All-Australian umpire. Hickey about 70 metres out from goal here. Is going to drive it long and deep. Franklin's in the area but not in the contest. Up they fly off hands. A little one from Parker. Got boot to ball and sends it over the line out of bounds near the behind post. Sydney dangerous on the stoppage in their forward end.
We're just watching Tom Papley at this forward stoppage. Maynard's now got the job on him. Brownie picked up that switch from Franklin, so he goes from one superstar to another. Papley looks to get active here.
Boundary throw in. McDonald does the work. Here he is. Lenny called it. Tom Papley. He snapped it too far. It's almost like you're an expert, Lenny Hayes. You picked that one a mile out. Minor score though, 7-5-47. The margin out to 17 points. 5 straight Collingwood on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Nick Dacos doing the kick in, and he's kicked it straight down the throat of Lloyd. Block. Another block by Blakey off the ball has given the free in the opposite direction to Collingwood. Now Chris plays on from half-back with a bit of a floater to Ginnivan. He marks on the corner of the square at half-forward. He's 60 metres out, got the win, ran off the mark, so the umpire said, you've got to go to the lead of McCreery. Got out of the pack and he's marked. 40 out directly in front.
Can't tell you how good that kick was. First of all by Crisp, but then that one by Ginnivan. So he's called to play on by the umpire and he needed to make a decision late. So he wanted to wind up. He saw a couple of players ducking back to the goal square just at the last minute. He saw McCreery, and it is so hard to change a kick once you're in the stride. Only the best can do it, and Ginnivan's kick then was elite.
How would Johnny Longmire be going with Blakey at the moment as McCreery comes in and drills the goal? They've got 6 straight Collingwood, and they are coming. 6 straight 36, trailing Sydney 7-5-47 on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And just using the ball much better, aren't they, Brownie, this quarter? Not bombing away, just lowering the eyes, hitting those marks between 50 and 70. And you spoke about it, Ginnivan, for a young player to have that poise and that class and that big moment. We know we've seen it all year, but that was really impressive.
And good kicking as well, 6 goals straight. So if Collingwood had been 3 goals through, they're still the best part of 5 goals down, but they've been able to nail the goals with the opportunity. Haven't had as good looks as Sydney, but they've kept themselves in it by nailing opportunities.
Tom Brown is sitting at boundary side for Bob Jane T-March saying, I told you so. He warned us about the wind. He said the right of the radio dial was the scoring end, and it's proving to be that. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy.
What have we had? 9 goals kicked to that end of the ground so far.
9-4. Will make for interesting reading this afternoon as Hickey takes it out the middle. Buddy! Tom Hickey took it out of the ruck, floated at 40 metres, and Big Bud is proving to be something of a handle for this Collingwood defence. He's marked 40 metres out directly in front.
Just gets in great spots, doesn't he? He's always in line with the ball for those quick kicks. Just puts him, he's done it his whole career, but been really impressed with his overhead marking. We spoke about it before. It hasn't been a strength of his game for his whole career, but he's doing really well tonight.
This to draw level with Jack Titus. 4 goals kicked in the finals. Hello, Jack. You got company. Buddy, 74 AFL, VFL final goals in his career. And an important one for the Swans. 8-5-53. The Collingwood Magpies 6 straight 36. Margin back out to 17 points. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services, and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
And as Tom Hickey comes off, who's been a journeyman, he's at his 4th club, Tom Hickey, but I think he's been the big man on the ground who's had the most influence and the most say, again up against Darcy Cameron in that stoppage then. He's had 4 clearances himself, Tom Hickey. He's grabbed that one out of the ruck against Darcy Cameron, goes forward, and Lance Franklin, an easy one-on, not an easy one-on-one, but when you get the one-on-one, you're almost going to back the forward in 9 times out of 10 to mark that ball if he's got to run and jump at it.
Tom Brown, Clark's gone down to the room. Any reason for that, you reckon?
No, I don't know yet. I'll follow it up right now, BT.
Thank you. Back in the middle we go. Great goal. Franklin's kicked both of Sydney's goals in this quarter. Little one out of the middle and a hold against Dacos. It'll go Sydney's way. It'll be a Heaney ball. Or is it Warner? It's Warner.
Pendlebury slowed down, yet to touch the footy in this quarter.
So Warner out of the diddle here at the SCG. It's absolutely chock-a-block. Gee, that's a wonderfully penetrating long ball. Big fist by Jeremy Howe. It'll get it over the line and out of bounds in the forward pocket for Sydney. They lead at 53-36 over Collingwood as Knight closes in on the SCG.
Looks like your man, Rowbottom's tagging Pendlebury this quarter, Brian.
Yeah.
So a move made by John Longmire at quarter time. Isaac Heaney to go up against Mason Cox, unsurprisingly. He was unsuccessful. McInerney got it to Mills, snapping ball around the body, top of the square. Buddy has to go against 3. Here's Rowbottom. He's got off the chain from Pendlebury. He shut down the Magpie legend this quarter, and now he's got a goal. Rowbottom with his first, and in the blink of an eye, the margin back out to 23 points for the Swans. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
You spoke about the inability of Darcy Cameron to fight through a 2v1 down the other end in the first quarter, Brownie. How good was Franklin then? I think he was outnumbered 3-1 almost. Just did enough to just wrestle his opponent, get a fist in, bring the ball to ground, and Rowbottom was there for the crumb.
He's been big, Franklin, hasn't he, today? He started slowly in this game. They put Maynard to him, and Maynard, he gave it to him a couple of times. He took marks on him back the other way, but Lance Franklin continued to work, continued to bullock his way, and we see the Harvey Norman replay. He took 2 of them to ground, and he went to ground himself, but 2 of them were out of the contest, and just a nice, easy goal to Rowbottom.
So Collingwood have given it their best shot and still trail by 23. The counter-punching here by Sydney in this second quarter has been terrific. Back to the middle we go. Beautiful bounce by Stevic. Out of the ruck goes Reid. Almost took it away. Now got it tackled by Crisp. Dispossessed. Dacos there as well. Picked up by Crisp. Collingwood quickly hurry it inside their forward 50. Being pushed under the ball there was Myercheck. Elliott was there. Couldn't get hold of it. Little handball comes to Tom McCartan. He immediately fires a high ball out wide without a lot of time. And Gordon's taken a one-hander right on the boundary line on centre wing.
A little bit of show time from Errol. Wanted to kick. Collingwood had set up the zone though. He's forced to just laser, and what about that for a pass? Didn't get above head height, found Chad Warner in the corridor. Exactly in the middle of the SCG, goes laterally, finds Stevens. Dylan Stevens, the boy from Mildura, kicked the second goal of the game. Launches on his left, goes long. Sam Reid deep, Buddy will fly, Mason Cox, good mark. Important mark for the Pies.
In the defensive 50, Mason Cox taking that mark. So Collingwood once again under purposeful pressure here. Kick out wide to Myercheck. He takes a mark on the wing. Thought about reeling and going on the right and saw nothing there. Would have been playing into Sydney's hands. Myercheck can go short to Lipinski, and he does. Faked as if he was going to kick long and went short to Lipinski. Lipinski right on the Toyota logo. Edge of the centre square goes inside 50. Hoskin Elliott at the back. Elliott now got possession in the pocket. Wheels back on the right boot. Snap over the shoulder. High ball. Blake Hill mark. Defensive goal square for Sydney.
McCreary just called back to the top of the goal square to give Blakey some space. He is right on the goal line. Chip short. Left back pocket, finds Rampy, and Ginnivan just walks straight over the mark.
Up the step.
Umpire said, I'm not having it. 50-metre penalty. Rampy just lopes. And that just relieves the pressure for the Swans. And Ginnivan is...
I thought he was stiff, Ginnivan, but his result after that and getting back up onto a Sydney player was pretty ordinary.
He was sulking a little bit, wasn't he, Brownie? As Mills drives it inside forward 50 for the Swans. Buddy caught in a wrestle with Murphy. Quick hands came out. Haywood snap around the body, top of the goal square. Moore getting back, rushes it through. Minor score.
Well, he was sulking. It almost cost them a goal in the end. And he was stiff. As you watch the Harvey Norman replay, he comes in and he stops exactly where Dane Rampy was, but then he complained with the umpire and he stood there when the play went 40 metres up the ground. You've got to be better than that.
Quainer off the attempted mark, handball to Dacos in the middle. He ran out of room, Dacos, and he missed the kick. In fact, he dropped the ball. The free kick was paid, so was the advantage to Warner. Warner goes wide and Papley's mark. Now the man on the mark is at 51 metres. Papley decides not to go this time into the pocket, looking for and not finding Logan McDonald, and that's the first time I've called Logan McDonald today.
Hasn't touched the ball, BT.
Wow.
I've been watching young Ash Johnson too, had a really good rise in AFL football, but he's playing in a final. I don't think he's working hard enough. He's not presenting himself for the lead at the moment. Paddy McCartan's got him covered, but he needs to cover more ground and work up and present more.
Boundary throw-in, you heard the umpire tell Tom Papley, no, you played for it. He did dive low, looking for the high free kick. We'll have a ball up inside the Swans forward 50. Heaney, he again played for it. A little bit of acting going on out there from the boys in the red and white. Noble for the Pies, relieves the pressure, clears the danger. Didn't get to Hoskin Elliott on the full. He picked it up very nicely on the half volley. Dacos down the line, outer side of the SCG. Good fist came from Tom McCartan. Set up Warner. Here goes Goulden, back inside forward 50. Heaney will fly, more too big. Got the fist. Boundary line wins out. We'll have a throw in right forward pocket for the Swans.
24 points up in a grand final, in a preliminary final, going into grand final, Brian. You haven't touched the ball and you look like you might be playing next week. You'd want to get a few in the second half, wouldn't you?
Absolutely you would. Lenny Hayes just pointing out both those guys, one for each team, not doing any damage at all. Little knockdown here from Warner. Went and got it Lipinski. Risky kick back towards Sydney's goal. Handball from Noble to Moore. Moore goes out wide to Bianco. Bianco very, very lucky to get a very, very dubious free.
That was big. McInerney took the mark, would have been having a shot at goal. Umpire said there was a free. Bianco goes down the line. We'll have a boundary throw in. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. The margin is 24 points, 4 straight goals in favour of the Swans. Supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon making every tradie's job easier. As Hickey and Cox do battle at the boundary throw-in. Rowbottom, he's wrapped up by De Goey and then he's sat upon by Crisp. We'll have a ball up just forward of centre, near side of the SCG for the Swans.
De Goey and Dacos are probably the other two in the midfield that the Pies, they just need to get going a little bit more.
24-point margin, free kick, Collingwood. De Goey to Dacos. This is Josh. Beautiful kick to Hoskin Elliott. He'll mark right on 50. He can run and play on. He does. Neat little ball to McCreary. Identical place to where he kicked the last goal from for Collingwood. 35 out, almost 40, directly in front.
I like players who understand the ball moves faster than you can run. So Jordan De Goey on that occasion had a bounce and then he thought, looked up, I haven't got anything to kick to, but I've got Josh Dacos 10 metres in front of me for a handball. If I handball it quickly enough, nobody behind me is going to catch up to him. He's going to be able to run 10 and then get it to a player.
It's a scientific Nathan Brown today as McQuarrie squirts at home. He's got a couple. Collingwood have got 4 in the quarter. And they get it back to under 20 points here. They have kicked 7 straight, Collingwood, 42 to Sydney, 9-6-60 on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And it's a good call, Brownie, because Dacos is the one who's been a little bit quiet in this game, but we know he's an elite decision maker. So if you can get the ball in his hands, we know something good's going to come of it. We look at the Red Dead Lending stats, and the kicking efficiency of Collingwood's up to 63%. I think the first quarter hovering about 60%. So they're starting to get their better players in a little bit more time and space, but they need De Goey, they need Dacos getting more of it if they're going to hurt the Swans.
Just on the Triple M Red Dead Lending stats, Callum Mills has had 16 disposals. Warner has had 12, Blakey 11 for the Sydney Swans and 2 goals to Franklin, whereas Collingwood cracked Jack Crisp up to 12. Pendlebury hasn't touched it this quarter after having 10 in the first. Lipinski up to 9. The major goal scorers, McCreary and Elliott, both have 2 apiece.
Game on at the SCG, prelim final. The Cats await the winner. 60-42, the Swans lead it by 18 points. We'll have a ball up for McDonald's and Marine Hotwater. Triple M rocks footy. Cox and Hickey engage once more. Bianco with the clearance away from the stoppage, inside forward 50. Paddy McCartan and Myercheck in a wrestle. Warner is claimed. Stevens at the bottom of the pack. We'll have a ball up right on the 50 arc for the Pies.
Umpire Simon Meredith separating the players here. Ball up right on the attacking 50 line that represents Collingwood forward end. Mason Cox, no real ruckman, having an impact on the footy. Rowbottom's got a tackling. Ginnivan underneath. Ginnivan pretending that he's trying to get rid of it. Umpire Meredith says, OK, we'll ball it up again. 52 from Collingwood's goal. Throws it up. Cox with a hand straight down the throat of Rowbottom. Rowbottom skies one to the wing. Heaney appealing for the free, and he's got it. Milked it out of Quainer. And Heaney with the free ball on centre wing.
No one on the mark, can play on and run off if he wants. Chooses just to have a little bit of me time. Eventually he gallops forward, kept it low inside forward 50. Warner! Jamie Elliott appeared lost playing the role of the defender, and Chad Warner knew it, and he's taken the mark 40 metres out directly in front.
Just one of those kicks where Warner read it best. It wasn't a great kick inside forward 50. It almost shanked it off the boot, but Warner just read it in flight. And you're right, Elliott in the defensive end. He looked a bit at sea. He didn't want the front position. Unfortunately, he had to take it, and side bottom, I thought it should have come over.
Chad Warner, he leans, not enough. Pushes it to the right-hand side, minus score. Swans move to 61, Collingwood 42, a 19-point margin, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
16 scoring shots to 7 at the moment in favour of Sydney. Fair old whipping. But Collingwood still very much in touch. Marked by Moore at halfback from the kick-in. Slow play here from the Pies. Moore ponders and decides the switch to the members' side of the ground using Howe. Ball is a long time in the air before it got to side bottom. The defender and McInerney got there, and then Sydney win the free through Papley, and 50 metres. Andrew Stevens is a very, very officious account type, numbers pondering, scientific sort of research operatus. And so there's no stuffing around with Andrew. And it's the shortest 50 in history. Papley now from 20 metres out. Little bit of angle. A certain goal here from Tom Papley. Papley to pump the Swans forward. No problems. Got the goal. He's got a couple. Sydney live to fight another day here. 10-7-67. Collingwood 7 straight, 42 on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
And he goes up to Maynard and he gives it to him after that. Papley very happy with himself. The chest is pumped out everywhere. Waiting for the Triple M Harvey Norman replay. It was a very quick 50 paid. The umpire was very clear on what he saw as Maynard jogs off to the bench, and he'll be straight on to the phone to Craig McRae, I would imagine, and Craig will ask him what happened. Craig McRae's down on the bench, so they won't have to call him up, but waiting for the replay. As we see here, Papley gets the free kick, and then the ball just...
Noble knocked the ball away.
So that was the 50, was it?
Yep, that is remarkable.
Not a lot in it.
Tough.
But it was McInerney who was the one who made up that 30 or 40 metres to get that fist in, just create that forward half turnover. Good defence by Sydney.
Just seeing on the Harvey Norman replay, Tom Papley just went up and told Braden Maynard, you've had 6 kicked on you tonight.
He absolutely did that too. It was good lip reading.
Papley's got 2, Flankin's got 2. I'm not sure who the other victims are, but obviously Tom Papley putting them on Braden Maynard's shoulders. Ball in the middle for McDonald's and Ream. Hot water, Triple M Rocks footy. Hickey got it down to Rowbottom inside forward 50. Here come the Swans again. Heaney read it. Chest mark, 40 metres out directly in front. Just read the drop of the ball, and Noble was nowhere to be seen.
It's not a matchup I like if I'm Craig McRae. I'm looking down. I've got Tall Timber, I've got Quainer, I've got Jeremy Howe, and I've got John Noble, the smallest man in our defensive unit, on a man who can mark it just as well as any player in Isaac Heaney.
Papley saying to Quainer then, you were a little bit iffy under that one.
Isaac Heaney, if Buddy doesn't come back next year, this is the man they'll put on the billboards. Isaac Heaney just stretches the lead to worrying territory for Collingwood. 73-42, 31 points the margin with 3.5 to play in the second term on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Biggest lead of the game, and what I think Papley was saying to him, so he went to Tom Papley and pushed him out of the contest, where I think Papley's saying, well, mate, you shouldn't have been worried about me. You should have been watching the ball in the air, going back and helping out your teammate. Instead, you were so focused on pushing me out of the way, you weren't looking at the footy.
Might have been some previous history there as well. So this is a goal-kicking fest here at the moment. 18 collectively kicked in the game. Sydney back in control, have kicked 4 of the last 5. After the lead narrowed to 11 points, it's back out to game-high 31 now. Collingwood must act. We've got 3 minutes 40 before half-time. They need to get one of those back now. Obviously can't make them all up. Here's a ball into the middle of the ground. Picked up here by Warner. Speed through the middle. High ball. Noble's got to defend. Almost infringed. Quainer with a handball to Murphy. Murphy with a loopy one over the top to Jeremy Howe. And he clears to the wing to Cameron.
Cameron got there on the half volley, but it skittled him. Got out the back. Fox couldn't keep it in. Boundary throw in right in front of the interchange gates. Our man Tom Brown down there for Bob Jane teammates. Hasn't had a heap of work to do tonight, Tom Brown. Boundary throw in 73-42. The Swans will take a lead in at half-time. It's a question of how big at this stage as Cox gets the handball from Lipinski, drives it forward. Sitting under the footy is Johnson. Didn't come down for him, and we'll have a boundary throw in just inside Collingwood's forward 50. 7 straight 42. They've been accurate. They just don't have enough of them at the moment, BT.
Boundary throw in, a rare one inside Collingwood's 50. DeGoey was held then by Florent, and he'll get a free. In fact, it'll go the other way. Gee, that is amazing. I was watching that off the footy, and I would have thought that would have gone the other way, but you can see the jumper come clearly from DeGoey, and it was a good call. Now Warner's got the ball on the wing. Little one sliding down the line to Logan McDonald, who hasn't gone near it today. And he's just going to escort that one. Beautiful little tap back into the field of play. Was that Papley squaring the ball? Why? Lipinski stole. Collingwood on the attack. Big opportunity. Hoskin Elliott squandered an easy mark. Time to recover it and now go down the line to Elliott. Elliott marks 70 metres out. No lead forthcoming. So he goes into slow play mode.
Squares the ball up, Lipinski. He squares it further. Dacos, spearing pass, Elliott's got it back, marked it on the 50, wanted the distance, played on, pulled it near side, minor score. And the perfect record is ruined. 7-1-43 now for Collingwood. They trail by 30 points, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard with 2 minutes to play. Lloyd to bring it in for the Swans. Going to come near side, finds Mills, one of the co-captains of this magnificent side. Just opting to play the boundary. Closing late was Murphy, did well, got there, forced the boundary throw in. There's still time enough for Collingwood to pitch one late.
The boundary throw in. I reckon they're one away from game over here, Collingwood. If they were to concede the next one, I think it's getting too much. Off hands crisp to Lipinski, to Josh Dacos. So it's important they get the next one. They've given themselves a chance inside 50. Goulden ran into a brick wall, but still good enough to get the ball to Fox. Fox to Florent. Florent out the back door to Tom McCartan. And Paddy it was, under some pressure, but he's kicked it down the throat of Pendlebury, who dropped the juggling mark. Tidied up by Hickey to Rowbottom. Rowbottom's kick was not great. Moore was there, he's lost it in the lights. Now it comes to Dacos. He was caught high, in fact, at Pendlebury, and Pendlebury's got the free on the wing.
Pendlebury goes corridor. It was a risky kick. It asked a lot of Crisp. He got the free kick. So Jack Crisp has it 70 from home. We've got 1:10 to play. He's directing traffic. He wants someone to come to him. He drops it to the top of the square. Big Mason couldn't get him down with it. Fall of the footy. Paddy McCartan's wrapped up by a couple. Ball underneath. And a ball up will be the result. 25 from the Pies goal.
Collingwood players were like hyenas then, jumping on the little piece of meat that was hung out the back door. Cox doing the ruck work, Hickey with the win. Knocked down there to Florent, got a quick goal ball out. Got about a minute to go in the half here. Noble back inside to Crisp. A poor ball, it was on the half volley. Parker was absolutely desperate at ground level, locks it up. 40 seconds remaining here. in the half, and the free kick will go Collingwood's way, in fact.
Let it up now.
And it will be on the bottom of that pack, Dacos. So this is Nick Dacos. He's a super-duper kick. He's too far out to score, he thinks. Now the lead of De Goey got under the footy. Wasn't great. Picked up here by Sydney. They took him on. Elliott looks for the free. Nothing forthcoming. Ball up.
Should have been holding the ball, that one. Collingwood fans irate at the moment. Harvey Norman replay. Rowbottom tried to run through and then dropped it. Umpire balls it up quickly. Seconds left in the quarter. Swans looking to hold on. Heaney's kick is smothered. Big fly Johnson. Collingwood need clean footy. Quick kick out of the pack. It clears the dangerous territory for the Swans. Quainer wrapped up Buddy. Got him, stuck him. And now he stands over the big Butster as the halftime siren sounds. It looks like Isaac Quainer is going to be paid the free kick. Now Buddy stands the mark. In fact, it's not Buddy. Jake Lloyd will stand the mark. 70 metres out. Isaac Quainer. It'd take everything. He's shaping for the barrel. Swans have flooded back. He launches it. Not a bad effort. It's going to go out of bounds on the full, however, though. And Buddy goes up and has a word.
And no score there it would have been because he ran on the arc after the siren had gone, and the umpire said before it even left the boot.
Nice work, BT. There it is, halftime sound. 11-7-73. Sydney take a 30-point lead into the main break. Collingwood 7-1-43 for McDonald's and Remote Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
For Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a ream.
The stage is the battlefield. And sometimes the hotel room. Triple M's Flock of 80s Finals continues Monday. At 2 p.m, Stevie Nicks will be right on the edge. As she takes on Pink Floyd. Make sure you vote, because if you do, you've got a shot at 4 tickets to the Toyota AFL Grand Final. GFAFL 22/90. Triple M's Flock of 80s Finals. Monday at work. Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
You are out of beer. Fridge.
Ha, lucky I'm headed to Bottle Mart.
Legend, can you grab a 30-pack of Great Northern Super Crisp for $49.99?
Bonus camping gear with every case, I'll get 2.
And grab your choice of Bombay Sapphire Gin, Jack Daniel's Whiskey or Chivas Regal 12-year-old 700ml, also just $49.99.
Will do. I'll also grab a bottle of Pepper Jack wine. Selected bottles just $19.99.
Yummo. Terms and conditions apply. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials are now at bottlemart.com.au.
Play the Monopoly game at Macca's for a 1 in 4 chance to bring home a win. Prizes like a Barbecues Galore Premium Barbecue Pack, an Ultimate Barco Gardening Kit, a Cliff Cinema Soundbar, and more. Download the My Macca's app and play today. End 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Every year, we help thousands of people like you control their gambling. So, we get that every story is different. We get there might be setbacks along the way. We get that you might need lots of support or just the odd call. To change the way you think about gambling, call someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help on 1800 858 858 or visit the Gamblers Help website.
Campbell Brown here with Andrew Shea, CEO of Builders Academy. Andrew, Builders Academy have won multiple training awards recently. Tell me, what's the secret?
Thanks, Brownie. We're really proud to have added over 8,000 graduates. We offer online, classroom-based and worksite training, and most of our students are able to study with subsidies from the Victorian Government. We're really proud of our industry-leading completion rates and the outcomes we help our students achieve to become registered building legends.
Thanks, Andrew. Get in touch with Builders Academy on 1300 Legend.
RTO 21583. You are out of beer. Fridge.
Ha, lucky I'm headed to Bottle Mart.
Legend, can you grab a 30-pack of Great Northern Super Crisp for $49.99?
Bonus camping gear with every case, I'll get 2.
And grab your choice of Bombay Sapphire Gin, Jack Daniel's Whiskey or Chivas Regal 12-year-old 700ml, also just $49.99.
Will do. I'll also grab a bottle of Pepper Jack wine. Selected bottles just $19.99.
Yummo. Terms and conditions apply. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials are now at bottlemart.com.au.
Mate, the proposal was
was terrible.
Uh-oh.
I popped the champagne and the cork hit her in the face. Then I was so nervous, I called her Sharon.
Wait, Sharon, your ex?
Sharon, my ex.
Wow.
But after all that, as soon as she saw the ring, it didn't matter what I said.
She said yes?
She said yes.
Oh, give us a look. Oh, it really is a beautiful ring, mate.
The Diamond Guys. Diamond experts, so you don't have to be.
Real Aussies are winning big with the Monopoly game at Macca's. Like previous Monopoly game winner Caleb from Victoria, who won a home entertainment package.
I was shocked. Turned to the missus. She was shocked. We both didn't believe it. Pretty blown away.
Download the My Macca's app and play today. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
You are out of beer. Fridge.
Ha, lucky I'm headed to Bottle Mart.
Legend, can you grab a 30-pack of Great Northern Super Crisp for $49.99?
Bonus camping gear with every case, I'll get 2.
And grab your choice of Bombay Sapphire Gin, Jack Daniel's Whiskey, or Chivas Regal 12-year-old 700ml, also just $49.99.
Will do. I'll also grab a bottle of Pepper Jack wine. Selected bottles just $19.99.
Yummo. Terms and conditions apply. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials are now at bottlemart.com.au.
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. 1 battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
Half-time at the SCG in the Harbour City. Perfect conditions for footy and the Swans are making the most of it. The Sydney Swans with a 30-point lead over the Magpies. 11-7-73, Collingwood 7-1-43. The winner of this game headed to the MCG next weekend to take on the Geelong Cats. Liam Flanagan here, joined by Nathan Brown and Lenny Hayes. Let's have a look at the numbers for that first half, Lenny, and what jumps out to you with the Swans with that 30-point lead?
Yeah, I think it was just the way that they were able to move the ball and their efficiency going forward. Collingwood were able to even that up. So you look at the kicking efficiency stats at halftime, and that's all even at 65% each. But just felt for the majority of the game, the Swans have just been a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more clinical going forward. Couple of disciplined free kicks, 2 50-metre penalties against Collingwood that resulted in goals as well. So, and for me, it's around the clearances where Collingwood have been able to match the Swans at times, but the Swans, just the weight of numbers are just, with the entries going inside 50 and how dangerous some of their forwards like Heaney and Franklin have looked, they've looked really dangerous. So, yeah, for Collingwood, they need to even up, win a few more centre bounces, get a couple of their midfielders going a little bit more. But we look at the Red Z leading stats for the Swans. Callum Mills has had 17, Warner 15, Ollie Florent 12, Blakey's had 11. For Collingwood, Crisp has had 15, Lipinski 13, Pendlebury 11, and Dacos 10. So for Collingwood, there's a little bit of improvement left in them. The Swans just need to keep doing what they're doing.
And I guess, Brownie, the concern for Collingwood especially is, given the dominance of the Swans around the stoppages, is how little they're getting out of Darcy Cameron.
They're getting very little out of Darcy Cameron. I think Tom Hickey's owned him in the middle of the ground today. And we've seen again the SCG doesn't suit the way Collingwood want to play. And there's been times where Isaac Quain has had the football and they've taken that kick towards centre-half forward and taken angles. But the rest of the time, they haven't been able to move the ball. So they haven't put Sydney under any sort of pressure. A couple of times they've got it out of the middle, which has been centre-bounce stoppages, and they've scored. But they're 6 down at stoppages at the moment. And then you go forward, and I feel like Sydney have kicked the easier goals tonight. There's been a couple of times Lance Franklin's taken. They haven't been easy marks, but they've been easy marks for Lance Franklin. And then they've had a couple of 50s that resulted in goals, and then a couple of walk-in goals, one to Rowbottom where Franklin busted the pack, and then that was an easy goal as well. So it's like every time Collingwood come at Sydney, they've got an answer.
This is the halftime break for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools, 1 battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. The Swans with a 30-point lead, multiple goal kickers. Tom Papley's got 2, Buddy Franklin's got 2. For the Pies, Jamie Elliott has 2 and Bo McCreary has 2. And it's been... the matchups just haven't quite worked for the Collingwood back 6 on what the Swans forward 6 are doing, Lenny, because Braden Maynard has been rolling around on the different players at every time. They doesn't feel like they've got their matchup settled.
No, and when Collingwood's pressure isn't there and the Swans have got a little bit of time, I think the Swans forwards are really isolating the Collingwood defence. So the strength of the Collingwood defence is they're flexible, but they like to help each other. And when they separate and don't allow Collingwood to come over and help out. Because they're undersized, they've looked like they're just out of their weight division at times. We saw Noble on Heaney. It was just too easy for Heaney. We've seen Franklin on Maynard a couple of times. Brownie said they almost became uncontested marks because he's able to hold out his opponent. He's giving away probably 15 kilos. So if the pressure isn't there up the field and the Swans have just been so slick with their hands, I think they're plus 17 contested ball as well, the Swans. So that's a smashing. And if they keep that up, they're just too slick and they're able to get through and they're able to score.
And the key Collingwood players not getting in their hands on the football. So you look at Jordan De Goey, whose 2 first finals were outstanding, probably Collingwood's best player, but tonight he's only had 4 disposals. He's not getting tagged. Parker started on him, but it's been somebody playing on him at a stoppage, and then it's just go and play. So he's only had the 4. Josh Dacos, who's the other one, he's only had 4 disposals, and Steele Sidebottom 7. So 3 players who are electric when they get the football. They make good decisions, and they kick the ball so well. 3 players with 7, 4 and 4. It's not enough, and that's where they're falling down through their midfield.
Does Fly McRae have a move at half-time? Is there, he doesn't necessarily have a Harry Taylor type who can be a swingman and throw forward, but is there a move that you could see him potentially making in this third term?
Well, he's got a Darcy Moore who's played forward and has been able to kick goals in the past, but I think they need him. Jeremy Howe could play forward, but the problem isn't at either end. They've given up 11 goals, but it's been going in there at a fair rate of knots, and when they've gone forward, they've kicked their own goals. So they've kicked 7 in the first half, 7 goals straight at one stage. The problem has been, as Lenny pointed out, in the midfield, their clearance battle, and they haven't been able to match Sydney in there.
And the hard one on that is if you bring an extra number up around the clearances and Swans' pressure's good, you're going to kick it back to an out number. So if they do bring it 1 or 2 numbers up, they need to chain, use their hands, change the angles. So that's something that Craig McRae might go to, but it is fraught with danger if the Swans' pressure's really good.
Next weekend, the AFL Grand Final returns to the MCG after a 2-year little vacation where it went to Queensland and then to Western Australia. It will be back at the MCG next weekend. Tonight we're here at the SCG and the halftime Amy Klanger, who covers Clangers on and off the field, Amy does. The SCG is a fantastic ground, but apparently all the technology hasn't quite got up here yet, Brownie and Lenny, as we discovered with the halftime Klanger.
Quite quick with the replays up here, Brian.
No, there's a guy pedalling.
There's the arc. It's just
it's frozen.
It's just we're trying to click into gear at the moment. The arc.
I think there's 48,000 people using the Wi-Fi, Brown. So it's buffering.
Sounds like we were battling for an Amy Klanger as well.
But we found one, Brownie, and that's the important thing.
We did.
This is the halftime break for Bosch Power Tools. Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. 1 battery corded power backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee. The halftime break, the Swans lead it by 30 points, 73-43 over Collingwood. 1 half to go until we find out who will take on the Cats in the grand final. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for Bosch 18-volt bi-turbo brushless tools. 1 battery, corded power, backed by a 6-year warranty guarantee.
From Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Add a drop to your shop this footy season at IGA Liquor. Like a case of cold ones, perfect with snags.
A bottle of wine to go with an impressive game day spread, or a smooth spirit to pair with the tasty footy snacks.
Yes, head to igaliquor.com.au to find your local store today. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Over 18s only. Drink responsibly.
Triple M is your home of the Marty Sheargold Show.
17 players had a lifeline in the AFL's mid-season draft. Got a Roo Boys update. Alan Dawson, key defender. He will be on North Melbourne's list.
Well done, mate.
Collingwood.
We had a second pick.
Yeah, and you passed.
Why would you pass?
We don't need anyone.
Of course we need someone, mate. We've won 1 game. Jeez, we'll pass. What, you going that well, are you? Hey, I said we'll pass.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M. Kick off the footy finals and score a great deal at Dan Murphy's. Shop unbeatable prices in store or online at danmurphys.com.au. Conditions apply. Choose to drink wise. Dan Murphy's.
Hey, it's Daisy Thomas. Are you ready to get that winning feeling? The Monopoly game is back at Macca's and there's thousands of prizes to be won. In fact, there's over $578 million worth of prizes to be won, and you've got a 1 in 4 chance to win. Prizes include a VW Polo GTI, free Macca's for a year, a $1,000 Choice Hotels gift card, or a $1,500 Webjet gift card, and so much more. The Monopoly game is back at Macca's. Peel and scan to win today. T's and C's apply.
Low prices, no lock-in contracts on prepaid mobile. Is that too much to ask?
Not with Kogan Mobile. They're famous for their award-winning prepaid prices. When you get started with Kogan Mobile, all you pay is $2.90 for 30 days.
Whoa, that sounds perfect. What do I get for $2.90 though?
That's the best part. You get unlimited calls, unlimited texts, plus a big 20 gig of data.
Enough's enough. Where do I sign up?
It's easy. Just head to koganmobile.com.au. Be quick, the offer ends soon.
Australia, it's time for a spring break, and Choice Hotels are bringing your next getaway one step closer with up to 10% off when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So when there's something to celebrate, book it. Or it's time to reunite, book it. Whatever the reason, get the lowest price guaranteed this spring when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead, book it with Choice Hotels. Select travel dates in October and November only. Book by October 7. Subject to availability. T's and C's apply. See choicehotels.com for full details.
What about cleaners?
Yep.
Mechanics?
Uh-huh.
Builders?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever hard work you do, Cbus are making your money work as hard as you.
Power workers?
Yep.
Factory workers?
Mm-hmm.
What about truckies?
What do you think?
Cbus Super, making hard work pay off. To consider if Cbus is right for you, go to cbussuper.com.au for a PDS and TMD. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
Hit the road with a 1 in 4 chance to win with the Monopoly game at Macca's. Win prizes like a year of free Wilson parking, a new Volkswagen Polo GTI with 5-year care plan, and more. Download the My Macca's app and play today. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
James Brayshaw here. Want to win 4 tickets to the AFL Grand Final? Who doesn't? Find out how Monday morning at 9 on 105.1 Triple M.
Hi, I'm James Royce. Prince William and Princess Kate could be heading down under next year. The Prime Minister has confirmed that initial talks are underway to get the royal couple back down to Australia for the first time since 2014. Now, as to whether or not Charlotte, George and Louis come too, well, that still remains up for discussion. Mourners are being told not to join the queue to see the Queen's coffin as it lies in state, with wait times at Westminster now blowing out past 24 hours. And there has been drama in the monster lines that have been waiting to pay their respects. A man is in custody after he allegedly rushed towards the Queen's coffin. He's being held under the Public Order Act. And as we wait for Monday night's funeral, some are using the change of the guard to raise the Republic debate again. Deputy PM Richard Miles, though, says now is not the time.
In terms of those foundational questions, what we've made clear is that our focus is on the Uluru Statement from the Heart, on putting in place a referendum to provide a voice to the Parliament. That's our focus during the course of this term. But, now is about honouring the life of Queen Elizabeth.
And in other news, fears that Queensland won't be ready to host the 2032 Olympic Games have been dismissed by the state's tourism minister. Senior bureaucrats have warned the state is almost a year behind schedule in terms of its infrastructure plan for the event. But Sterling Hinchcliffe says with 10 years to go, there's probably plenty of time to have everything ready.
You could win $30,000 thanks to Collingwood Steel, plus a tiny escape to the block on auction week. Ends October 9. Enter now. Search Collingwood Escape. T's and C's apply.
Checking Triple M Melbourne weather. A couple of showers around tonight. A low of 11. Rain tomorrow. A top of 15. Partly cloudy and 16 on Monday, then similar but 19 Tuesday. Our listener app is the new home of Triple M. Download now to listen live or on demand.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
The McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, second half about to get underway. We had a bit of Sweet Caroline at quarter time. And then DJ Felix, the DJ, here at halftime, Brownie.
Bit of doof-doof.
And not sure we all agree, but that's the way they roll here in Sydney. So you do it the Sydney way. Of course you do. Second half is going to be a massive half of football, both these clubs. It's a big margin. What are we at? 30 points right now. It's, if Sydney score the first 2 goals, it's all over. I would have thought it's way too much for Collingwood to get back in the game, but it's going to be a cracking second half, and we're going to find out a lot in this opening 15 minutes, Brownie.
We certainly are, but the thing we do know is Collingwood will play the full 120 minutes, so they'll come out after half-time, as there have most of this year, and they'll really challenge Sydney. They'll throw everything they have in the first 15 minutes. So I think after about the first 15 minutes of this quarter, we'll know who's going to be playing in the grand final, or if this game is still up for grabs, because Collingwood will come hard in this third quarter. The big thing we've spoken about at half-time is getting their hands on the footy through the midfield. Players like DeGoey's only had 4. Josh Dacos only the 4 disposals. Sydney have got an even spread of players who've been able to get their hands on the football. Too few have got the football at Collingwood, so they need just an even spread of players to get their hands on it, because when they've got it inside forward 50, which hasn't been as much as Sydney, they've actually kicked 7 goals, 1. So their efficiency's been good, but they need to get it in there more.
Bob Jane team arch, Tom Brown.
Well, the good news, BT, for both sides, particularly Sydney, who look like they'll probably win, is that there's no injuries, which is significant in contrast, I guess, to last night. In terms of that breeze, Collingwood will probably will have to win this quarter if there are any chance at the turn, and they'll be against what's now a significant breeze. It's been a significant all night, but I think it's actually got stronger, which is interesting.
So the mental battle out there, I reckon, has been won by Sydney as well. I don't mean necessarily in the footy, but just in the abuse stakes and the get in your head stakes. I reckon Sydney have dominated that.
Yeah, Collingwood just gone overboard a couple of times with the 50-metre penalties, a little bit of back chat, undisciplined acts that have gone against them. So yeah, you'd have to give a big tick to Sydney, and they've been so disciplined, for the last 15 to 20 years. It's just a hallmark of their game.
And it's been Papley and Franklin who have done most of the damage in those stakes.
Yep.
Reid has just gone back down to the rooms to Sydney. I may have just been as simple as forgot his mouth guard or whatever, who knows, but I'm sure there's no damage there. We're about to start this second half of football. Here's Liam Flanagan on Triple M Footy.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy second half underway. The second prelim final, the winner to take on the Cats at the MCG, and Collingwood need the first, and here they come through Dacos. Inside forward 50, that's Josh with the kick. Hits up Darcy Cameron. 40 metres out directly in front. This is the start the Pies need, not just for them, but for this big man.
That's how they started the second quarter, wasn't it, Brownie, with a goal from centre bounce, but it was a really nice kick by Dacos, and it just held up in the breeze, and it just played to the advantage of Cameron there, and he takes a nice marker. He needs this for his confidence. He's had a bit of a tough night, so big kick coming up.
Played a solitary game for the Sydney Swans before heading south and joining up with the Magpies, and in the absence of Brodie Grundy, he has made the number 1 rock spot his own. He poked at it, and only just, in fact, it hasn't got the distance. That was marked on the line. No, it's gone through for a behind. Geez, I thought McCartan had taken a mark. Minor score, Pies, 44 plays 73.
Not sure how to explain that one.
Bit of a missed kick, missed time, whatever. Just had no juice in it at all. In the meantime, Sydney through Tom McCartan. Go very, very wide to Heaney. A beautiful little deliberate kick off the ground to Mills. It was so beautifully manicured by Heaney, who does everything so beautifully clean, and eventually the ball is in the hands of the umpires for a ball up very close to the boundary. Maynard helping one of the Swans players up there in Stevens, which is highly unusual. And Tom, we're going to come down to you. There's been a big medical sub in a moment. Let's do that now.
Yeah, according to the champion data stats, Reid has been subbed off for Campbell. So Reid currently unsighted. He's down in the rooms, and it appears there could be some injury concerns. We know he was getting his groins worked on.
So that must have been an injury in the warm-up after half-time, because he was on the ground, Tom, and he ain't anymore, and he's out of the game. So a big, big move in the game as Heaney's got the ball on half-forward.
Was getting a big massage probably halfway through the second term on the bench on his groins.
We'll keep an eye on that. He is out of the game, though. Braden Campbell in. Parker, chip short. Well, Collingwood just went to sleep there. They just stood in place, and it's Robbie Fox, the defender, who'll go back and kick at the first of the third term.
I don't even think Robbie Fox was expecting that football then. I think he was just running through space, and all of a sudden the ball was coming at him, and it was a really good kick from Parker, looking down at the boundary to Craig McRae. He can't believe it.
He's not a noted goal kicker, Brownie. Just the 8 in his career. None this year. And I tell you what, would have been a good time for his first. Went close, pushed it right though. Minor score, 74-44, 30-point margin. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop. Pies to bring it in near side. Dacos down the line. Tom McCartan got front spot, took a big strong mark. It's been a McCartan wall that the Pies have been up against all night. Buddy is just waving him in, saying, put it in my general direction. I'll take it. Eventually he does. Going to be hard for him from there. but Logan McDonald, the invisible man, finally clunks it. 15 metres out, Brownie directly in front.
It's called assertive defensive. So when your defenders come up as high as what McCartan does then, he fisted the first one back for a goal, and the first kick out of the second half, assertive, up defensive, and he takes a mark over the top and puts it back inside forward 50.
Has he had a kick yet, Lenny?
This is his first, mate.
Boot will be fresh.
Comes in, first kick of the game. Logan McDonald gets a goal and says, I want to play in the grand final, please, John Longmire. Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard, the margin out to a game-high 36 in favour of the Swans.
Just watching the Harvey Norman replay, it was Jeremy who decided to guard a little bit of space, get a nice run up to put his fist through it, but what it allowed was McDonald just to come and run unchecked, almost take an uncontested mark in the end. We know it's a strength of Collingwood to do that, but some body needed to be applied. We know McDonald hasn't had a big say in this game, but he's a key forward who's just allowed to, on a slow play, the Collingwood coach's box will be really disappointed with that.
36-point lead here to the Sydney Swans. Game high 36. They've kicked 3 in a row, kicked the last 2 of the second quarter. And now Logan McDonald with his first kick in the game has put them 36 up. So back to the middle we go. Umpire Matt Stevic to get it underway again. Sydney looking for a grand final berth opportunity here, and they are well and truly on the way. Florin at ground level got met a little high for my liking. Dacos, handball out the back door, got on top of it. Mills gave it to Lloyd. Lloyd high balls, one to the middle of the ground. Papley worked Quainer under beautifully and took the mark. Papley in the middle of the ground here, now looking for a slicing ball to Franklin inside 50. On the half volley, couldn't make it work. Moore was close, no Collingwood player other than Moore went after the football. They all waited for each other. Now Maynard, little kick around the body. Papley stretches, mark 70 out.
Turns his back on goal, 70 metres out. Eyes dart, decides to pop it to a space where no teammate was, and Braden Maynard takes the intercept mark. Collingwood need to start moving, finds Chris just outside of his defensive 50. Like something down the line, finds DeGoey. You reckon this man needs a big second half if the Pies are a chance. He turns and goes and wheels it forward in the Cameron direction. Bounces over the top of Darcy Cameron. Ollie Florent waits, hooks it around the body. Should be marked by Quaynor.
He does. Quainer marks it right in front of the Sydney bench and goes the long way around. Concedes 20, goes back to centre half, back to Moore, who's got time and space and runs. Over the top with a handball to Nick Dacos in the middle of the ground. Nick Dacos with a little Chisley kick. Little stationary was Pendlebury. Crisp has to go. Row bottom in there. Free kick will go the way here of Collingwood. A little lucky. Jack Crisp's got it. Just forward to the centre circle inside the centre square. Thought about the handball to Maynard. And now Crisp waiting for something to transpire. Down forward, goes with a low ball, didn't get all of it, but the mark is taken by Elliott. 25 metres out directly in front, Jamie Elliott.
Well, he marked that, Brian, because he's the only Collingwood forward who was moving. Everybody else was standing in the goal square going, OK, is he going to kick it long? There's nowhere to move. Jack Ginnivan was the front of the pack. He wasn't moving as well. Elliott was the only one who got on his bike. And in the end, when you see someone moving and nobody else is, that's the play he kicked to.
On the replay, didn't look like any sort of free kick to Collingwood, to tell you the truth. But here is Elliott to keep Collingwood in the hunt. 25 out directly in front, and he too misses. A minor score, so things starting to fall apart now for the Magpies.
Bob J. T-Mart's Tom Brown.
Yeah, so Reid has been listed as an abductor, which is a significant story, obviously given the grand final next week. So I'll follow the extent of that groin injury up post-game, but an abductor is what it's been listed as.
Reid out of the game, abductor injury. Brownie giving us the news there. Braden Campbell in. Bob J. T-Mart's look after you. Buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cash back on top tyre brands. Call 13 26 25 or order online today. bobjane.com.au. Meantime, the Swans have tried to exit their defensive 50. Only for Collingwood to bring it straight back in. We will have a boundary throw in right forward pocket for the Magpies.
Who are the emergencies tonight? Gould, Cunningham, McLean and Campbell.
Campbell's the sub. And he's the one that's gone on, and the emergencies, as you say, Brownie. Who would you select out of that trio? Cunningham's the one we all know. Little handball there to DeGoey. Beautiful smother by Rowbottom. Handball from Pendlebury to Hoskin Elliott. Out the back door to Nick Dacos. Nick Dacos around the corner with a high ball inside 50 here. No one in a position to mark. Off hands it comes. Spills out. Elliott applying some pressure near the boundary line. Cameron's got it. He's upended through the footy. It'll be a free going Sydney's way in the back pocket.
Well, it's not going to be Gould because he's never played a game, but I think they'll bring him in.
McLean's
if
probably
you wanted like for like, Hayden McLean is the tallest out of the lot of them. Logan McDonald's breathing a sigh of relief.
Down the line, Goulden. Been quiet tonight, Errol Goulden. Very talented young man. Haven't seen a lot of him, though, as the ball is hatched on the outer wing. Umpire prepares himself, holding the football, and that will be 50. Yes, come with me, he says.
And for those that don't know, Josh Kennedy had another injury during the week, so he is now gone and no chance. He hurt the hamstring.
It's Nick Dacos with the footy. The Swans players are claiming they simply could not hear the umpire's calls, but I don't know if an umpire's ever agreed with that one.
No. Pepperjack are doing a lot of advertising at the moment, Brian. Seeing Pepperjack everywhere.
A very nice drop.
One of our sponsors at Triple M.
Yeah.
Nick Dacos for a much-needed one for the Magpies. He's a beautiful kick of the football. He's a rising star. And now he is a goal kicker in the prelim final. 8-3-51. Collingwood closed the margin to 29 points on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
Lenny, as long as they're within 5 goals, they'll think they're a chance. I mean, they've done it so many times this year. They played the full 120 minutes. So right now, every Collingwood player will be saying, we are still in this. We know we can do it. We've done it before.
Absolutely. They just keep chipping away. Sometimes you need a bit of luck in this game too, and that was probably a lucky 50. He's very loud out there, but you also need to make the most of your opportunities. So the more times they get Dacos and Pendlebury and DeGoey and these guys with the ball in their hands, the better off they're going to be.
Bob Jane, Team March, Tom Brown.
A potentially significant story for Collingwood. Cox has just gone out of the rooms with the physio and the doctor. Kruger is warming up. Craig McRae, a couple of minutes ago, was in detailed discussion with the doctor. I'd say that involved Cox, who's gone down to the rooms for assessment. Mason Cox.
Thanks, Tom. Tom's game has come alive. And boy, hasn't he come alive on the back of a couple of misfortunes. Here is Cameron. Little soccer along the ground. He loves an injury, Tom. And I tell you what, they are big injury stories, because any injury entering a grand final is a huge story. Side bottom trying to run away, but he's gone out of bounds with the footy and will throw it in. Neutral area on the wing. Hoskin Elliott is on the bench. He's got a little cut above the left eye, as we can see on the Harvey Norman screen here. Boundary umpire taking a long time to get set. That's the All-Australian boundary umpire out there, by the way. He's a musty little customer.
Is that the one Dermot was instructing pre-game?
No, he honed in on the young one, because Dermot was giving instructions on how to whip the ball back and play if you're a boundary umpire. Unusual operator. There is Pendlebury, little handball to McCreary. Handballed out in front of himself, McCreary, and gathered and got his own possession back. Now the kick in towards Elliott, bounced over the top. Blakey hasn't had the greatest of games, Blakey. He's been a little shaky, Blakey. And we'll have a boundary throw in deep.
Just building a little bit of pressure here, the Pies. Let's see what they can conjure up with this forward 50 stoppage. Maybe look for DeGoey or Ginnivan to get on the move.
29 points the margin. Lenny Hayes, Nathan Brown, Brian Taylor, Liam Flanagan, your call team. Tom Brown for Bob Jane Team Arts. Ginnivan was on the move. Elliott wrapped up. McInerney got it to Lloyd, got it to Warner. Warner a clearing kick to the wing. Buddy's in the contest. Murphy, the two-fister, puts it in the direction of side bottom. Out of side, this happening. SCG Warner gets it to Mills around the body. Pies have numbers. Mark taken by Darcy Moore, just backward of centre. Collingwood fans want 50. Dangerous kick. Beautifully read by Justin McInerney, who came from the clouds and will kick the easiest of goals for the Sydney Swans. We'll have to have a look at that one on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay, but what a goal from the Swans from absolutely nowhere.
It's just one of those ones where you sit underneath the football, and it was a switch of play from Darcy Moore, and Jeremy Howe is your man, so he thought he was free. He thought there was no one within the vicinity. And out of nowhere, McInerney sprinted and the ball just hung in the air that little bit too long. Howe had no idea, because he sort of came from the blind spot, was able to run straight through. He marked it from 60, and then he had the whole 50 metre, took a couple of bounces and then banged it through. But Darcy Moore He was trying to move the ball quickly. He did the right thing, but just too much air.
So a huge goal for Sydney.
When those sort of things happen and you're intercepting footies like that, you're not losing the game.
2 goals to 1 in the quarter. 35-point leaders here. You get the feel they need down to be in the low 20s to be a chance going into the last, and they are running out now of opportunities. Sydney are forcing those to dry up by their brilliant play. De Goey picks up the ball. He had a chance to get rid of it. He didn't, and so then he was pinged.
They've had 21 scoring shots from 35 entries. The Sydney Swans, that is high efficiency.
Goulden's got it, just short of the wing. So some of these young players heading for a grand final. Hickey was strong in the contest with Kruger, who's the activated sub for Collingwood, replacing Mason Cox. So Kruger on the wing. I wonder whether that was an injury situation with Cox. I'm almost betting as it comes out the back to Papley. Papley has shot at goal, misses. A minor score. But I'm just wondering about the Cox thing. Seeing McRae talk a lot on the bench, whether they said we need something different to win this game, Lenny.
Yeah, I'm not sure Kruger's probably going to be the man to do that, but it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that, because it was hard to pick anything up during the game, wasn't it?
Yep.
Triple M, Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. The Pies are going the boundary route this time. All the way past centre wing. Ball fisted over the line.
The thing I worry about with Jack Ginnivan, and we spoke about it pre-game, was if you're not getting hit the scoreboard, you're not hitting the scoreboard, what are you doing with the rest of the game? So he's had 3 disposals tonight. One of those is a really good kick, set up a goal. But 3 disposals for a player of his ability, he doesn't get enough of the football if he's not hitting the scoreboard himself.
Nathan Brown, Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. The Pies in desperate need of a goal. The footy is in the hands of Jack Crisp, game 200. Inside forward 50. They need a mark over the back. It's going to be fisted through for a minor score. So 87 plays 52, Brownie.
Sorry, mate. So they've had the same amount of inside 50s as Sydney tonight, and you wouldn't think that. You think the game has been played in Sydney's end, but when you look at their forwards, Johnson only had the 1 disposal, Ginnivan only the 3 kicks, Bianco has played forward 4, Brody Myercheck 4, and Mason Cox 5. So all their forwards, for all inside 50s, haven't been able to get their hands on the footy.
Absolutely. Have not got hold of it on the Red Z lending sheet. So in the meantime, Sydney here at half-back through Ollie Florent. Go towards half-forward. Jeremy Howe in front, couldn't hold the mark. Penderby trapped it, got it out the back to Quainer. He'll have to unload it with a risky handball inside here to Chris. Chris caught in the tackle. Ball spun. It comes loose. Umpire gave him the advantage here and let him go on with it. He's very lucky not to be penalised because it was a good tackle at half-forward for Sydney.
Geez, they've done that well tonight, haven't they? They've come forward and closed that space and not allowed Collingwood any space at all.
De Goey took it away, but he turned the footy over with the handball, gave it to Florent. Dropped in a tackle. Hayward spins 360, gave it to Clark. Clark loops it out in the Goulden direction. He's a left footer. He's on the right side, but he went backwards with hands to Warner. Inside forward 50. Heaney couldn't close, nor could McDonald. Mills went off the deck. Bobbling around, it lands in Hayward's lap. He gets out of the tackle. Handball to Campbell. The Medi sub into the game in place of Sam Reid. Pies need to stay strong. They do. And we'll have a ball up 45 from the Swans goal. 35 points the margin in favour of the Sydney Swans on the Triple MIJ Liquor score.
I'd love champion data to start taking stats on fumbles, Brian. From the moment Josh Dacos fumbled the first one, I think Collingwood have been fumbly all game, where Sydney have just been clean.
Red alert, Nathan Brown would like a fumble category to be added to the champion data stats. Here's a ball from Johnson to Myercheck. Myercheck sent it goal bound, but offline. It's spinning back a little and won't cross the line, so Sydney to keep it alive here. Little chip ball here to Mills. He has to wait for it. Ginnivan works him over and got it to the boundary line. Bit of a win there for the Pies. They'll get a stoppage in their 50. Score is 87-52 in favour of Sydney. Triple M RGA Liquor scoreboard. RGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop. Boundary umpire will throw it back into play. Cameron and Mills, can you believe it? Off hands to Dacos. Dacos out the back, snap around the body, goal. Collingwood have got one. 2 goals apiece in the third quarter. He's got 2 for the game. And Collingwood just giving themselves a glimmer of hope 13-9, 87-9, 4:58 Collingwood.
They've had a couple of forward 50 stoppages, haven't they, Brownie? And they've looked quite dangerous, but that was just clean execution. And you touched on it before, their forwards haven't got a lot of easy balls, so they've had to conjure up some scores from other sources. And that's a great goal, really good set play, just wrapped off the hip there. Really deft touch to Dacos, who was flying through with no one on him. Just watching the Harvey Norman replay now. Beautiful tap there. Able to beat the tackle and just bend it round from about 30 metres out, but really classy finish.
Been hard on Darcy Cameron tonight, and he's had a poor night, but he was in that ruck contest against Mills, and he did exactly what he had to do. He reached over the top of Mills, he got first hands on the footy.
Thanks to Macca's, score a 1-in-4 chance to win with the Monopoly game at Macca's. Ends 18th of October. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au. The Pies trail by 29 points. We've got 8 and a bit to play, third term, inside forward 50, side bottom with the kick. Ginnivan hasn't seen a lot of the footy, fighting hard on deck now. Standing up in the tackle was McCreary, he's got 2. Bianco, handball to Goey, high, floating ball, going to drop at the top of the square for the Pies, no mark taken. Now the Swans through Papley will clear defensive 50.
It's going to land with Maynard, I'm telling you now, they're just 29 points down. If they kick one here, there's still 8 minutes remaining in the quarter. And they only need to be back near the 20-point margin here. So Collingwood are trying to dig themselves out of a very, very deep hole. They are within 29, they attack. Johnson drops a mark he should have taken. Picked up by Cameron. Hickey slung him in the tackle. He's caught with it and they've got a ball up. 25 metres out from Collingwood goal. You do sense they need to kick the next one here, Collingwood.
Ball up, umpire gets it moving quickly. Danger zone for the Swans, opportunity for the Pies. Ginnivan to Goey. Just the fumbles again, as Nathan Brown pointed out. Gives Rowbottom a chance to clear the danger. It's going to come back in though. Jeremy Howe squares the footy. Quaynor, he's got side bottom further afield. Goes that way. They've opened up the fat side of the ground now. Side bottom just forced to stand and wait.
No movement at all.
Nothing doing ahead, so he's going to drop it to the square. Hope for a mark at best. It gets over the back of the pack. Dacos stands down as Lloyd hunts the footy. Cameron sits on him. Another ball up on the way, top of the Collingwood goal square.
I'd like to see someone coming at the kicker there, wouldn't you, Brownie? Yeah. Just a little duck-up lead late.
Even if it's not them, long. Create the hole.
Yeah, spot on.
This is the biggest pressure play of the game here right now. Collingwood are pressing. Can Sydney hold them off? Collingwood desperately need the next goal. Dacos has got it to Dacos. In fact, it was Lipinski to Dacos. Snap missed. Minor score. So it's a 28-point game in favour of Sydney.
There's a 50-metre being paid too.
Against McCreary.
Talk us through what you saw, Brownie.
This is a bit of a push and shove, and the umpire paid the free kick. Wasn't a lot in it.
I don't know if we need that when finals are on the line.
Jesus, that's let him off the hook.
Hasn't it? What, BT? Jordan has it. Left half forward in the blink of an eye. The Swans are into attack. Big fist came from Murphy. Puts it into the danger zone. De Goey gets back to support. Lipinski feeds wide to Bianco. Pendlebury strolling through the middle. Inside forward 50. Ginnivan marks 45 out directly in front. Does he have the journey, Brownie?
Not a big kick of the footy. You'd have to think at the SCG he should make the distance, but I prefer him from inside 40.
Lenny, these are skinny 50s, aren't they?
They are. And the thing that I loved about that passage of play, De Goey's decision then not to... He looked up, he was going to bomb the ball, but then he was able to use the hands, chain through. They're really on top here, Colin. Need to make the most of these opportunities.
Huge kick.
He's accurate, 26-7. It's just a question of distance. Does he have it in him? Launches. Listen to the Collingwood faithful behind the goal. He's made headlines all season, Jack Ginnivan, and he's just made a very big statement at the SCG, cutting the margin back to 22. Triple M IGA Liquor Schoolboy, IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
I prefer him inside 40 and anywhere outside 50 as well. Rabsy in the back row said he can kick 55 plus. I didn't believe him. And look around, and Rabsy's got 2 fingers up at me. Big goal from Ginnivan. And De Goey at half-back. So tonight they've been panicking in the football at times, but De Goey hasn't had a big night. Got that ball, was going to bomb it out of the defensive 50. Elected not to, just held onto the ball, that extra second longer. He risked getting tackled from behind, but what it allowed him to do was get the handball into space, and then Collingwood had the overlap.
5.5 minutes remaining in the quarter. Collingwood is as close as they've been for ages. They're within 22. Another one would send them absolutely spaced out here, I'm telling you now. It would be unbelievable. Cameron with a kick to the advantage of Sydney, not Collingwood. Bianco had his feet taken. The umpire said no. Quainer marks at half back. Everything's starting to work for Collingwood. Look at the Quainer kick up the eye, did a little to Chris. One of the rare times they've gone through the middle, but without great pace. Chris now says slow. Collingwood mounting a real challenge. Chris goes wide looking for Hoskin Elliott. Gee, Hoskin Elliott's going to let him down. He didn't even compete for the footy against McCartan in the end.
Tom McCartan hasn't had a heap to do tonight. Good mark there though. Goes backwards to Mills. Mills switch a play to the outer side. Fox takes off, has a run, wanted Buddy, sat the kick up a bit too much for the Budster. Noble wins it now for the Pies, and there's a man out the back in space. Oh, Johnson dropped the footy, got back to his feet, had a quick kick, put it out of bounds on the full. It's been a dirty old night for Ash Johnson.
It's a crucial drop mark.
Had a shocker. Look at the body language now. Come on, mate, do something about it. And he dropped the absolute crucial one. They were going forward inside 50 with that. So Collingwood on the challenge here, there's no doubt about it, they're going to have another go. Moore's taking the mark at half back. He says, OK, I'll take him on through the middle. A drilling straight ball. Elliott's got a one-on-one inside 50. Blakey won it with a spoil away. It comes to ground. May have been a free. Wanted it, Parker, didn't get it against the gully. Ball up, attacking 50 Collingwood. 28-point lead Sydney.
Continue to build pressure. Hold it in your half of the ground. Make Sydney defend. Keep the ball in there. Keep putting it inside forward 50.
Collingwood have definitely shifted up a gear here. Pendlebury to Lipinski. Pendlebury pursuing it. Coming through clean was Kruger. Lenny said he couldn't be the difference maker. He wants to disagree with the great man, but a good mark taken by Hickey.
I'd be getting young Ash Johnson off right now if I'm the coach, and I'd be having a word to him just to say, mate, we need you. We need your head up. We need you in this game. You can be the difference for us in the last quarter. He just needs someone to give him some positivity at the moment, because I feel like he's thinking negative about himself.
Swans have the footy on the outer side of the SCG. Centre wing, 87 plays 65. We've got 3.5 to play in the third term. Dylan Stevens will drop it inside forward 50. Pies should fist this out of bounds. They do. We're going to have a boundary throw in left forward pocket with a touch over 3 minutes to play on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. Add a drop to your shop this footy season at IGA Liquor, like a 6-pack of beers to go with your footy snacks. Head to igaliquor.com.au to find your local store.
I feel like the Swans want to take a bit of the sting out of this game. Collingwood's all over them, got a lot of pace on the game. They need to take some uncontested marks, get some stoppages in their forward 50, the Swans.
Boundary throw in forward 50 for Sydney. Collingwood win it. Little kick to side bottom. He marks, runs the play on of Noble. Noble goes for Hoskin Elliott out wide, and Hoskin Elliott competed with the man and allows the ball to run over the bounds to the All-Australian umpire out there, boundary umpire. Not sure of his name. He's one of 4, but he's out there. So here we go. Down to the last 3 minutes of the third quarter. Collingwood have done a great job clawing their way back. I think the margin high in this quarter was 36 points at one stage. Now the ball goes inside Collingwood's attack zone. Up they fly, no winner in the air. McCreary comes out backwards, but got hold of him is Florent. And Florent held onto the tackle and will have a ball up 25 metres from Collingwood's goal.
22 points the margin. When the Swans led by 36, we were talking about one more being the end of the Pies season, yet here they are fighting back. Side bottom to Pendlebury, to Crisp, ran into a tackle from Clark, dropped in it, footy comes loose, umpire said play on. An appeal for too high from Tom Papley isn't paid. We'll have a ball up. True centre half forward for Collingwood. 2.5 to play. Umpire, we like this. He's been restarting it quickly. De Goey read it well. Side bottom. Flying shot towards goal. The wrestle is on. Kruger can't win out. Mills is back there to help out his numbers. Lloyd will go around the body. High kick. Noble stood underneath it. Gave the free kick away to Campbell.
Pretty silly by Noble. The ball was never going to be marked and he didn't need to infringe.
So he get his fist to it. Back inside forward 50.
So now chance for Sydney to just the go slow mode. A little bit of controlled tempo here as we close out the quarter. 2 minutes remaining in it. High ball, Logan McDonald at the back of the pack comes to Pendlebury. Is confronted by Buddy Franklin. Caught him in the tackle and ball pinned. No prayer.
Now Collingwood have to hold. They have to hold here. 22 points. Now that they can't get that goal, they'd love to stop Sydney here.
They've won the quarter. It was a 30-point margin at half-time. They've cut it to 22. De Goey tried to tap it in the Dacos direction. Here's Parker spinning, getting it to Rowbottom. Quick kick. Buddy, 2v1, goal square. Bud couldn't take it. Darcy Moore could, but then he coughed it up. Big contest in the left forward pocket. Trouble for Warner. We'll keep an eye on him in back play. Meantime, Darcy Moore does really well. Bounces away, feeds Quainer. Quainer puts it ahead to McCreary. Strides through centre wing, inside forward 50. Elliott up against it. Mills getting back, taking an important mark on the last line of defence with 1:15 to play.
Elliott turning his back and saying to McCreary, don't you know how small I am against two talls?
Mills is behind the ball now as well, just to shore up their defence.
This is Mills, this is Heaney with the footy. Goes out wide to the wing here. Good mark taken by Logan McDonald. 58 seconds in the quarter remaining. As Brownie said, they can't afford to concede here, Collingwood. And they're looking and they're building here. Goulden's got it. The temptation for Sydney must be enormous, but they must be sure. Now Parker. They don't want to give Collingwood another sniff like they did a moment ago. Parker's told to go very nearly another 50 for Collingwood against McCreary. A high ball. Howe punches it to the boundary. Over the line, out of bounds it goes. 34 seconds remaining in the quarter. It's a 22-point margin here.
Great positioning by Jeremy Howe. So they had Buddy Franklin covered with Murphy. Howe just set himself 10 metres in front of Franklin and fisted it out of bounds.
34 seconds left in the third term. Cameron took it from the boundary throw and wrapped up by Heaney. Ball comes loose. Umpire calls play on. Swans would love a late one. Stevens hooking around the body. Won't be the required distance. Surely not. Heaney's claimed the mark. Felt like it travelled about 8 metres. But the umpires paid it. And Heaney will have a set shot. 30 out. 45-degree angle.
And it'll be after the three-quarter time siren.
Counting down. We'll hear it shortly. So the margin is 22 points before the kick. Isaac Heaney with a chance to stretch it out to 28. He's got one. He would become the Swans' third multiple goal kicker. Still side bottom, just being told to get out of the protective area. The last thing the Pies need is another 50-metre penalty. The crowd will tell the story for Heaney. Oh, he's pushed it. He's pushed it right. So a minor score. Three-quarter time at the SCG. The Swans 88. The Pies 65. A 23-point margin in favour of the home team. The winner to play the Cats in the 2022 AFL Grand Final. Coming up next for McDonald's and Remont Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor, where good food deserves a great drop.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
score a 1 in 4 chance to win the Monopoly game at Macca's. Ends October 18. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Shut up!
Triple M has your grand final day sorted.
I love this day.
Thanks to the Trade Institute of Victoria, we'll be outside Gate 3 at the Triple M main stage all day.
Yes, please.
From 8, it's Sarah Marie and Lemo. Then the Dead Set Legends with Joey, Jay and Kath.
Couldn't be more excited.
At midday, it's the legendary Saturday Rub.
The best one ever.
Then at 2:30, the ball is bounced on the 2022 Toyota AFL Grand Final.
Get this grand final underway.
Bream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks the Grand Final.
Score a great deal at Dan Murphy's for the footy finals. Beat the crowd and shop online at danmurphys.com.au for delivery in under 2 hours or pick up in under 30 minutes. Kick off the footy finals at Dan Murphy's. Conditions apply. Choose to drink wise.
I'm on the drug, I'm on the drug, I'm on the drug. The Kill River Phoenix, I'm on the drug, I'm on the drug, I'm on the drug. The Kill River Phoenix.
Good Things Festival is back
And playing their first show in 20 years, Tism. Joining Bring Me the Horizon, Deftones, NoFX, Regurgitator.
You missed the stop sign. Bring the stop sign.
Tism exclusively at Good Things Festival. Friday, December 2, Flemington Racecourse. Tickets on sale now at oztix.com.au.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. At Bob Jane T-Marts, get spring holiday savings. Buy 3 tyres and get the 4th absolutely free. Plus, up to $150 instant cashback on trusted tyre brands like Bridgestone, Yokohama, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Michelin, Zenon and Motorsport X. Alloy wheels from only $125 and tyres from just $69. All with our best tyre price guarantee. We'll look after you.
T's and C's apply.
Steel Solutions, Houston speaking.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay, settle down. What's going on?
Oh, my genius apprentice just backed a bobcat into a retaining wall. We've got to rebuild it by lunchtime tomorrow.
Relax, mate. We've got all the retaining wall steel you need, and we can cut the steel to the exact length you need. And we'll whip it round to you straight away.
Houston, we don't have a problem anymore.
That's kind of why they call us Steel Solutions.
Steel Solutions. The steel you need when you need it. Sunshine, Bayswater and Springvale. steelsolutions.com.au.
Hey, it's Daisy Thomas. Are you ready to get that winning feeling? The Monopoly game is back at Macca's and there's thousands of prizes to be won. In fact, there's over $578 million worth of prizes to be won. And you've got a 1 in 4 chance to win. Prizes include a VW Polo GTI, free Macca's for a year, a $1,000 Choice Hotels gift card, or a $1,500 Webjet gift card, and so much more. The Monopoly game is back at Macca's. Peel and scan to win today. T's and C's apply.
There's something I've been meaning to ask you. I honestly can't imagine my life without you. You've always stuck by me through the good times and the bad. You're my biggest supporter, my most trusted advisor, my best friend. Will you come with me to the Diamond Guys to help pick out a ring for Sarah?
Mate, I thought you'd never ask.
The Diamond Guys. Diamond experts, so you don't have to be.
I'm on the drug, I'm on the drug, I'm on the drug. The killed River Phoenix, I'm on the drug, I'm on the drug, I'm on the drug. The killed River Phoenix.
Good Things Festival is back. And playing their first show in 20 years, Tism. Joining Bring Me the Horizon, Deftones, NoFX, Regurgitator.
You missed the stop sign. Bring the stop sign.
Tism exclusively at Good Things Festival. Friday, December 2, Flemington Racecourse. Tickets on sale now at oztix.com.au.
Kick off the footy finals and score a great deal at Dan Murphy's. Shop unbeatable prices in store or online at danmurphys.com.au. Conditions apply. Choose to drink wise. Dan Murphy's.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks football, 3-quarter time, Collingwood tightening things up to a 23-point margin. They've done this many times this season. 10-5-65 Collingwood, trailing Sydney 13-10-80 on the Triple M scoreboard. Nathan Brown, Lenny Hayes, what are your thoughts?
Well, Brownie spoke about at half-time how the Collingwood midfield needed to get going, and that's exactly what they did. So they evened up clearance. They, in fact, won clearance by 6 that quarter. They're up in the contest +1. They had more disposals. They kicked 3 goals 4 to 2 goals 3, but it was Pendlebury with 9, Sidebottom 7, Crisp with 6. The Dacos boys got going with 5 each, and De Goey only had the 4 touches, but some of them were really influential and just got themselves back in the game. So for Sydney, Brownie, what do they need to do this last quarter to get the game sort of back on their terms?
Well, they need to control the footy because I thought in the first half their clearance work, they outworked the Pies at that clearance stoppage area, +6 to the Magpies in that third quarter. That's what got them in the game. So the game started in Collingwood's half of the ground, and we know how good they are at defending. So it's just multiple entries inside forward 50, and I thought Collingwood probably could have kicked a couple more goals, but they wasted a couple of opportunities. Sydney went down and kicked an easy one.
Bob Jane, T-Marts, Tom Brown.
So 2 significant injuries. Cox now listed as a groin. That's the reason that Mason Cox has been subbed out. Reid with an abductor, which is obviously groin as well. So 2 big injuries.
Both many subs into the game. Braden Campbell for the Swans, Nathan Kruger for the Pies. Here we go, final term, SCG prelim final number 2. The winner to tackle Geelong in the 2022 Grand Final. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy, we are underway. Swans lead by 23 points. Collingwood with the clearance. Clever tap from Dacos in the Lipinski direction. But the boundary line wins out. Boundary throw in left half forward for the Magpies.
23-point margin, Brian.
Yep.
1997. We led Adelaide by 23 points at three-quarter time, and we lost the game. Darren Jarman kicked 4 in the last quarter. Who is going to be the hero for the Pies?
Oh, wow. Let's see here. Hickey. And remember, Collingwood kicking to the Tom Brown scoring end of the ground. It goes inside 50. Side bottom. Drops a mark he probably should have taken in the end. And then he's caught with a footy, and he probably should have been penalised in the end. And in the end, the umpire did nothing. And now we'll have a ball up inside Collingwood's attack zone. He got there side bottom. He'd done all the hard work, and it was just really the simplest of marks. Despite being off the ground a little, I saw Cox talking to Logan McDonald, pulled him out of the group at three-quarter time and said, you still can have an effect on this game. Now Collingwood are scrapping on the wing. Quayner's got it, didn't want it to come out, didn't have enough troops out there, so Quayner tried to drag it back in, and he disguised it beautifully.
Who was on Darren Jarman in the last quarter, Brownie?
Tried a couple. Todd Curley, Matty Croft.
Ball up centre wing, out of sight of the SCG. Parker tried to step through one too many. Had his kick smothered. Pendlebury tackled by Warner. Ball up. Bream hot water built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream. Crowd appeals to deliver it. We're going to have a boundary throw in. It is a jam-packed SCG. Game was sold out. Pies fans have travelled in numbers. And their team is still in the fight. 23 points the margin. Early stages of the final term. Kruger and Hickey. Kruger, the fresh man, the medi-sub, out of mid-air. Finds Dacos. This is Nick. Plays on. Wheels inboard. Kicks to the outer side. Wants side bottom. Ginnivan there as well. Side bottom. He held on to this one. One hand style. Man on the mark. Stands on the 50-metre arc. We know they're skinnier 50s. Does he have the journey?
He's a pretty big kick side bottom. He's looking around for someone to give it off to, but he looks like he's going to settle himself over a long one at the moment.
Still no one coming at him.
So he's committed now. Or will there be a late option?
Not from there.
Side bottom. Uses the play on. You called it BT. He's going to drop it to the top of the square. Didn't have the journey. Gets out the back minor score. Through for a behind. So the margin back to 22 points. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Just like to see a couple of those small forwards who are just standing in between the deep contest and the kicker side bottom. No one working together. No one coming back up at the kicker. Give him another option. Might catch the Sydney Swans defence napping.
I reckon Nick Dacos has been moved forward as well in this last quarter to try and create some goal-scoring opportunities.
You get the feeling just a little nervy here, Sydney, at the moment. Not a lot of evidence of it. I'm not saying they've done anything wrong, but just the way they're not moving the ball, if you like. Fox goes very, very wide, marked by Goulden. He plays on, little chip over the top to Haywood. He marks right in front of the interchange area. Haywood, lots of time left in this last quarter. Collingwood's going to have to be an incredible comeback. Biggest margin, I think, was 36. Buddy on the lard. Couldn't hold it for the third time. Mills goes back to Franklin. Franklin does the don't argue pick up. Funny little kick out wide. It spills to Goulden. He picks it up on the boundary line. Goes for a low, sharp one to Heaney. Tries to turn his man inside out. Heaney now under real pressure is Kruger. And the umpire's whistle saved him. Otherwise, I reckon he was going to be pinged.
So look at the Buddy Franklin drop mark at half forward. Normally gobbles them up and would have been right in his firing line.
Ball up. He's quickly fisted over the line. We'll have a boundary throw in. Triple M Harvey Norman replay. Get the new HP NVX360 available now at Harvey Norman. Buddy just never really in control of the mark, so it wasn't paid. Boundary throw in. Inside the Swans forward 50. They lead it by 22 points. And as you pointed out, BT, some nerves creeping in. Pendlebury, all class, just walked through the pack, sent it to the outer side. Found Josh Dacos, gave it back to Maynard. The kick was cut off by Lloyd, who opted for the fist instead of the mark and put it into row 10. We'll have a boundary throw in outer side of the SCG.
Stoppage has become really important now. Pies were good in this area in the third term. Kruger in the ruck up against Hickey. You'd think Hickey has the advantage here.
All things said and done, Collingwood have got to have a cracking 15 minutes of footy. Pendlebury, little soccer off the ground to Myercheck. Fed the handball back inside to Nick Dacos. A little give there again. Goes to Noble. Noble caught with the footy. Coughs it up as well. Allows Warner to run through and go high. Closing in here is Moore. And Moore takes the mark at half back. He wants to play on immediately. Goes with the risky kick to Nick Dacos through the middle of the ground. Noble's short ball picked up beautifully by DeGoey. He spots side bottom ride. Side bottom's going to keep going. A neat little ball back inside. Too much for Elliott. Darcy Cameron the spoil. Side bottom got his own front and centre. Socketed off the ground. Now Sydney through McCartan.
McDonald just called Goulden off the footy. Said they have to have a big 15 minutes, Brian, but they just need to kick the first goal. They need to put the pressure back on Sydney. Howe dropped the sitter by his standards, then went back and won the football. Fed it back to Darcy Moore, who does not want to run. He wants to give it off. Oh. He's turned the footy over to Warner. Inside, Papley, corridor, Parker, chip kick, Heaney marks it true centre half forward. There's space inside forward 50. Teammates demanding it. Logan McDonald says, kick it to me. Ryan Clark slipped over. Quainer won the football for Collingwood superbly. And here they come on the rebound out of side. Lipinski needs to keep it in.
He did keep it in, but to Sydney's advantage. They are a nervous outfit at the moment, Sydney, Lenny.
They are, BT. I reckon they've gone into their shells with their ball movement. It's not the way that they've played all year. So if they just stop and they don't create anything, it's just going to play into Collingwood's hands. So really good call, mate.
22-point margin. Ball's in neutral territory on the wing. Boundary throw in. Collingwood looking okay, but not giving themselves opportunity. Pendlebury with a hope handball over the top. Kruger with the applying tackle. Smack in they go. Chris tried to win it. Made it hard. Row bottom. Little handball comes to Parker. The ever good Parker. Nice little chip ball. Finds an opportunity. Heaney couldn't get back and mark it. Moore a dashing run off half back. Squirts the ball right up to half forward. Myercheck one-on-one out there with McCartan. He wins it at the ground level. Little tap out now comes to Chris. Chris feeding the handball back inside of DeGoey. DeGoey wonderful tap to Lipinski. Lipinski goes back inside of DeGoey. He's caught in the tackle. Got the handball off to Dacos. Dacos out the back tunnel ball style. Picked up Bianco's trying to goal. Collingwood have got it. Collingwood have kicked the goal to break a bit of a seal on this game. And they have got it back to 16 points, the margin.
Good old-fashioned grunt that was, Lenny. So from centre wing, they got the footy from a stoppage and they pumped it forward. Myercheck was the first one with a one-on-one. Went to ground, was able to pedal the ball forward. Then the next one was Nick Dacos, pushed the ball forward. Then Jordan DeGoey. They didn't get a possession in this match. Jordan DeGoey pushed it forward. And then again the ball popped out until it eventually got to Bianco, who had the space. It was old-fashioned grunt.
Bob Jane T-Marts. Sorry, Lenny, let's get down to Tom Brown.
Injury concern, another one for Collingwood. Kruger has what looks like a dislocated or certainly sore finger. The doctor and the physio trying to put it back in and work on it as we speak.
We'll have to keep an eye on that, Lenny. Collingwood are rising.
They're striking at the footy. They get numbers around the footy. They're on top.
Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Triple M Rocks footy. The Swans thought they had 1 foot in the grand final. Collingwood are fighting back 16 points the margin. Cameron wins it from the restart. Ginnivan bobbing around, tapping it forward. Desperation stuff from the small forward. Dacos, top of the square. Blakey, the intercept mark for the Swans.
Jeez, that's a good mark. That ball was floating every way. They're always hard to take. To sit under it 10 metres out from goal where everyone's bearing down, and yep, well done, Blakey.
Lenny Hayes touched on it. They have gone extremely unlike Sydney. Very, very negative, not willing to take the game on at all now, even via the boundary line. Longmire screaming instructions from down on the ground. High ball, Moore's had a good start to this last quarter, and he takes a beautiful mark against Papley, and so he should. Now he's on the wing. Handball's out the back to the left foot of Maynard, who strikes a vicious blow forward. Elliott's there at the back, Myercheck. Big punch to the boundary to go. He's squirting after it. And they have got a very deep boundary throw in Collingwood.
It's just not a lot of movement for the Swans that long down the line playing. Normally they have guys working in and out of the 45s, but it's just very stagnant by the Swans at the moment.
Triple M Seabar Super special comment. Seabar Super making hard work pay off. Lenny Hayes, Nathan Brown. Boundary throw in Collingwood forward 50. Tap down to Goey. Tried to keep it in front of him. Parker. Been everywhere tonight. Luke Parker. Hands and knees. Braden Campbell, the medi sub into the game. Hoskin Elliott slung in a tackle. Will have a ball up. And the other factor, Brownie, is the Swans, at this time of a game and at this stage, they would normally swing Sam Reid back into defence. He's out of the game, subbed out with that adductor injury.
Yeah, now they need to have Callum Mills go behind the football, which they often do as well.
Little ball up here. Collingwood hovering over the top. We'll have another ball up right on the Collingwood attacking forward 50.
Just need a bit of cleanness at ground level. DeGoey fumbled one moments ago that he'd normally take. Whoever's going to be clean up for longer.
They're within 16 points here, Collingwood. Very early stages. Chris snuck the little kick through. Johnson got it to Dacos. Josh Dacos had a shot and missed. So it's now a 15-point margin, which is close as they've been since midway through the second.
It is getting real tight on a Saturday night at the SCG.
He had Jamie Elliott on them for a handball too, Josh Dacos. It was a very split-second thing, but probably should have used Elliott.
There's certain players who are just going to want the footy at this stage of a game. Buddy, big lead. Nathan Murphy with a diving spoil. Collingwood have lifted. The pressure is as high as it's been.
They're +7 in inside 50s now. The game being played in Collingwood's up, but they need to score. They need to get the next goal. They need to continue to put pressure on.
13 minutes left in this final term. 13 minutes left in the season for one of these two teams. Geelong waits in the grand final. Row bottom, important clearance. Buddy gets in a wrestle with Murphy. Murphy fights on, fights hard, wins the football. Did really well. Nathan Murphy outnumbered. Got to Campbell, affected the kick. Boundary throw in, but Nathan Murphy can hold his head high there.
That was a great effort. He came off Buddy Franklin. Buddy was running back towards goal. He stayed in the contest and was just able to work the ball over the boundary line, put enough pressure on Campbell to get it out of bounds.
Big thing for Murphy is he is absolutely stuffed right now. Franklin would have some fresh legs. He wasn't involved in that contest.
Boundary throw in. Cameron wins it. Kicks it to centre half forward. Johnson got a clear hand on it. Out the back, Myercheck. No one between he and the goals. Got a spinning ball. Florin in the chase with Ginnivan. Florin's going to win the chase. Got to pick it up. He's knocked it out of bounds. It doesn't go out. Ginnivan keeps it alive. He should have tracked it, Ginnivan. He should have caressed it, almost let it go out. It would have been a free, and now we have a boundary throw in.
I think he thought the Sydney player was going to get there. It was touch and go right over the line. It would have been definitely delivered if it went out.
Boundary throw in. Collingwood left forward pocket. They are kicking with the wind in this final term. It's been the scoring end all night. Rampy will clear defensive 50 for his team. Noble tried to run around Buddy Franklin. Easier said than done. Buddy wrapped him up. Big tackle laid by the Budster. Clark with the footy now, just telling his teammates to slow it down.
Massive tackle by Franklin.
Huge.
Centre wing out of side, and he goes back to Buddy and rewards him with some Sharon time.
Well, Noble, if he had got around Franklin, had two players to give the handball off to, was going to be another inside 50.
No one on the mark here. Collingwood have stepped back. Now they can come forward. Franklin from the wing. Goes to attacking 50. They all fly Quainer down. Got it out the back door. Crisp. Lovely kick to McCreery. Collingwood have got a 2-on-1. McCreery, a withering, bursting run through the middle round. Got around Hickey. Took another bounce. Handball over the top to Kruger. Kruger, a good sitting ball. Left foot shot, a goal missed.
Oh,
Freddie Kruger running near open goal missed. Collingwood are within 14 points here with 11 minutes left.
What about the run from McCreery all the way from half-back, run around two players? It's been hard to get through the Sydney defence today, but when you take them on with leg speed like that, you'll get through anybody.
They kicked 7 straight to start the game, Collingwood, and now they can't buy a goal when they need it most. Lloyd is going to bring it in. He's almost going to put it out of bounds on the full, but just in time, Heaney gets a finger on it. Boundary throw in, right half forward for the Pies. 88 plays 74. The Swans, well, their scoring has run absolute dry.
But for as much domination the Pies have had, they've only kicked the one goal in this last quarter.
Hickey just dismissed Kruger from the ruck contest. Moves it forward. Oh, the cleanness of Isaac Heaney. Fed it to Clark. Shoveled it forward. Braden Campbell, the Medisub into the game. Gave it to Franklin. Stepped inside. He turned the footy over to Howe. Here come the Pies.
And a little handball there to Dacos. He's got to mop this up. He does to Jeremy Howe running through centre half back. Pendlebury through the middle of the ground. Waits for the overlap running Noble. Noble with a fumble. And now he's caught him a tackle here. Didn't have Pryor. And a ball up in the middle. Both teams stuffing up opportunities there. And in the end, the ball up's probably fair. It's a very, very open game. Someone is going to score, and they're going to do it very soon. Little knockdown to Rowbottom. Rowbottom's kick is a good one. Mark taken here by Sydney. It's Campbell. Got the ball forward to centre square. Beautiful left foot stroker on him. Papley's there. Pushed out of the way. Is he taken the mark? Has he been paid? I think he has. It was a very, very late whistle, but I think it's the right one.
He was the only player forward, Papley. Lance Franklin led up to the football, and he was the one in the space. Papley has just pushed Darcy Moore completely out of the way. And in the end, the ball hit the deck almost, and Papley held onto it. The umpire was on the blind side as we see the ball go down. But if it wasn't a free kick, it had to be paid. He didn't pay a free kick to Moore.
Yeah, he didn't hit the deck, so it was a legal mark. But it was probably a free. Papley here to get them back out to 20 points, and he has kicked the goal. He's got 3, Papley. Sydney by 20.
He's going to come all the way to the bench, Papley. His celebration's gone from the forward pocket to half forward now, all the way to the bench, and he's high-fiving everybody down there. He got lucky on that occasion. It should have been a free kick to Darcy Moore, but the umpire was on the blind side. He couldn't quite see it, so he couldn't guess. Would have to have been one of the umpires from non-officiating, but that's what breaks your heart in football. Collingwood, multiple opportunities. Time and time again, they had 80% of the play in their forward 50. They just couldn't nail the goal. Sydney go forward, and they nail it.
Triple M Seabus Super special comments, Nate Brown. Seabus Super making hard work pay off.
Big miss on the replay there from the umpire, I reckon.
Didn't see the push in the back from Papley on Darcy Moore. The goal stands 94-74, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. It's all in front of Collingwood now. McDonald v Kruger. McDonald got it to Rowbottom inside forward 50, but big fly couldn't bring it down. Tapped into dangerous territory. Goulden, time to bend it, snap it, and touched. Just on the line by Murphy, minor score, 21 points the margin.
Well, Collingwood will kick it back into play quickly before they decide to review it. Might have been close, Brownie. So a 21-point margin it is here now with 9 minutes of footy left. You've got to think that's too much for the Pies. I reckon Sydney are on their way now, and they've started to attack a little bit more. Blakey's kick inside. Heaney couldn't hold the mark. He too wanted the free. Moore muscled it out to Hoskinell. Umpire calls touch play on. Picked up by Logan McDonald. Too short. It's play on to Campbell. Campbell slips over. Still got the handball away. Maynard's there. Had to put his head over it, but beaten to it by Stevens.
You know, look at the right. Collingwood's end at the moment. Callum Mills standing 40 metres out from goal, so he's behind every player. So he's playing the quarterback role at the moment. If Collingwood get the ball in the fast break, they're going to have to counter what Mills is doing because they've got good set-up numbers behind the play.
Kruger had to compete with Goulden, so he won it down easy. Good tackle from Ginnivan. Here come the Pies. Need to win the footy. Paddy McCartan just stood in the way and said, that's my Sharon. Now he kicks wide. Heaney! Just a bit too strong for Isaac Quaynor. Marks 45 out, 45-degree angle. Will take all of his time as we look in the centre, and Isaac Heaney with the footy, and Jack Ginnivan just getting in a wrestle with James Rowbottom.
I think we might need to change his name to Isaac Cleaney.
Huge play by Paddy McCartan, wasn't it? Because Collingwood looked out with the hands. He was just able to get a hand in, and then just the ball was going inside 50. Brilliant.
Use that if you want, Flanners.
Isaac Cleaney on the runway. Newly minted nickname from our very own Nate Brown. He's just pushed it ever so slightly. It hasn't cleared the goal line, kept in play. And that's probably a win for the Sydney Swans because we result in a boundary throw-in instead of Collingwood with clean possession.
It's amazing what pressure does. Collingwood had the ball at centre-half back through Lipinski. Just an errant handball when they were out.
Geelong would be watching this and they'd be saying, goodness gracious, Sydney have got to fight it all the way to the end. Thank goodness for that. Little kick here. High ball from Warner. Bounces around, ricochets over the line and out of bounds. What would Geelong's appraisal, do you think, be of this at the moment?
Oh, yeah, you're exactly right. They'd be saying keep banging into each other, crashing in, bodies flying. They probably had an easier run at it last night, so no doubt they want this to go down to the wire and more physical contests.
21-point margin here for Sydney. They look like they've got it wrapped up. A spot in the grand final. Looks like it's theirs. Parker's ripped away. Maynard. Little ball out wide. Blakey's taken a mark here at half forward, and now they can really slow it down. And Blakey does that. 7 minutes and ticking. Little sideways ball finds Goulden.
These are all important seconds at the moment. Every time they chip the ball around, they take 20 seconds off.
Goulden has got the mark. The man on the mark's at 52. So the umpire's given him the 30 seconds here, which will come off the clock. And Goulden now told to go. Does high ball. Quainer should mark uncontested in the back pocket.
Horrible ball.
So Quainer has the footy, but with absolutely everything in front of him. Takes off, runs the corridor. Now they've got a dare. Straight down the middle. Thumping kick from Quainer. Contest. Heart of the SCG. Swans have won the footy though. Warner around the body. Collingwood defenders are back in numbers, but Moore slipped over it. Hats the footy. Got it to Hoskin Elliott. Pendlebury escapes. Kick to the corridor. Good mark taken by Dacos. There's a 50 or a play on. Not sure here. Rampy just kind of followed Dacos as he took the ball. Not quite sure what Nick Dacos was doing.
No, he was trying to suck the 50 in.
Yep.
And by doing that, he's wasted a bit of time and he's allowed Sydney players to get back in numbers.
So Nick Dacos has the mark just forward of centre in the middle of the SCG.
No Collingwood forwards moving again.
And again, this lack of movement, he opted for the torp. It's a tumble punt. Going to be hard to mark for anybody. Ginnivan tried to roll through the tackle. Couldn't. Quick kick out from the Swans defender. Will that be deliberate? Yes, it will. Hoskin Elliott to take it for the Pies.
Hoskin Elliott's good enough from here.
So man on the mark is at 47. Hoskin Elliott starts on the perimeter piping with the drip tray. Just kicks it to the square, doesn't go for home. Who can get a run at this? Myercheck almost held it. In fact, he's been paid. Might have been a hold of the arm in the end. No, he's paid the mark. So Myercheck is marked at the top of the goal square. It's
That's
down to
mark.
540.
Big mark by Myercheck. Huge mark.
He won't be using the 30. He's used about 15 of it. So he will kick the goal from the top of the square. Myercheck got it. So that brings it, I think, back to a 15-point margin. And we have got 5 minutes of footy to go. Myercheck gets his first.
And Collingwood need to be really smart with the way they move the ball, Brown, because Swans are trying to get the numbers behind. If they keep bombing it in, Myercheck did really well there to work through the numbers and take a contested mark. But if they're smart with their ball use and lower their eyes and use that extra number, they're a chance.
This is their best chance now with the 6-6-6. So this is where Darcy Cameron, he needs to stand up. They need to get the one-on-ones inside forward 50. When Kellen Mills goes back behind the football, Collingwood have got numbers behind their foot. Collingwood don't need the numbers behind the footy at the moment. They need to even up. They need numbers forward of the football. They have to defend one-on-one. So go, okay, Darcy Moore's on Franklin or Murphy's on Franklin one-on-one. We don't have any support. We've got 5 minutes to go. It's one-on-one everywhere.
Triple M Beacon Trade Scoreboard supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon making every tradie's job easier. This is it.
Well done by Darcy Cameron.
Final 5 minutes of the prelim final. Collingwood trail by 15. Cameron free kick. Fed it off to Pendlebury. Inside forward 50. Hoskin Elliott couldn't claim the mark. Late fist came from Blakey. Hands and knees. Elliott emerges with the football. Dropped it. Holding the football. Free kick Swans.
Things desperate now. 15-point margin. Goulden goes wide and finds Florent. Florent at half-back. 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. It's got to be perfection. The red sign being held up on the Swans bench. Assuming I mean red time. And it goes over the line out of bounds between the interchange gates here, and we'll have a stoppage right in front of the interchange area. No players getting up.
So Mills behind the footy again. Collingwood probably should have an extra number around the stoppage at the moment. So they're pushing Lipinski forward. Well done by Collingwood, well done by McRae. Getting their numbers even.
15-point advantage to Goey. Handball. Noble's going to run into a brick wall in the middle. He's got knocked over. Noble. He did. Hayward picked it up, kicked it to a one-on-one in Franklin and Moore. Moore with the thump away. Clears the hop. and got them all as well. Darcy Cameron went, got the handball to go. He swift handball to Pendlebury through the middle of the ground. Got it on the Dostakos, running over the Toyota logo. Got an eternity. He kicks it out the corner of the eye and finds Oscar Elliott. He flies through a mark he should have taken. Now he's got to get around. Snap around the corner. Oscar Elliott's kicked the goal. Oscar Elliott's kicked the goal. They're back within 9 points, Collingwood, and we've got 4 minutes left.
Brilliant by Collingwood. So you see they're outnumbered. It would have been hard at this time of the game, 5 minutes to go, to rearrange the troops and to get organisation behind the football. But they got Lipinski to go behind the football and man up Mills, which meant it was one-on-one all around the stoppage. They win that stoppage and then they use the football really well. Josh Dacos just held on to it that little bit extra time. He had a player, McCreary, I think, out the corner of his eye. He missed him, but he made the right decision. Hoskin Elliott, yes, should have taken the mark, but it all came from Collingwood evening up the ball and making it one-on-one.
Craig McRae, in his first season as the Collingwood coach, has dragged this team from a 17th place finish last year to the cusp of a grand final. 95-86, the Swans lead.
Plenty of time to go, Flanners. There's 4 minutes.
An eternity in this game, Brownie. Ball back in the middle for McDonald's and Reemont Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Side bottom, outer side, wraps up Mills. We'll have a ball up right half forward for the Swans. Fingernails being chewed all around this stadium, Brian.
There's no one more nervous than John Longmire at the moment, I'm telling you.
Bo McCreary coming off, 4 minutes to go. I'd rather him with his pace on the ground right now.
Well, Ginnivan comes on for him.
Yeah.
So you want them both on, really. Collingwood have taken the advantage. Myatek, who was it? Pendlebury wasn't watching. The handball come his way. Kruger tries to smash through. Sydney have a win, but it'll only be momentary because Cameron has marked at half back. Franklin stands the mark. This is at centre half back. It's in the middle of the ground, and the short kick finds Dacos. This is Nick. Half back, little wheel around the corner to Noble. Noble was very tight on Haywood. He plays on now and goes wide to Howe. They're 9 points down. We've got 3 minutes left in the game. Jeremy Howe goes inside 50. It's up to Elliott. He couldn't win it in the air. Ball comes to the front. Pendlebury got the handball. Back to Cameron. Cameron hoiks the ball inside 50. Collingwood need a goal. Myatek's in the middle of the pack. It hits the deck. Sydney out the back door. Squirt the handball here. Florence kick was smothered. Picked up by side bottom. Side bottom goal. Side bottom's got the goal. Collingwood have kicked 3 in a row. Collingwood are back within 3 points. Gee, what about that? Collingwood have come from nowhere to be 3 points down with 2 minutes and 40 to go.
Just don't give up. And I'll tell you what, it was a smother at the goal square, so the ball went in long and it looked like they're going to clear it quite comfortably out the back to Florent, but it was that extra bit of pressure put on. It was Myercheck who dived on the football and got a hand on it, and then it came out to steal side bottom. There's no better hands to have it in. A man in a crisis, steal side bottom.
Next goal wins, Lenny.
Yep. So crucial, this centre bounce. So much at stake for this one here.
2 minutes and 42 seconds left.
I reckon the way it's been played, there's 1 goal left. That's what I meant.
Next goal wins, Brian.
Yep.
2:40 to go.
For McDonald's and Reemont Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Last night's prelim was a blowout. This one is an epic. Dacos with the footy now. This is Josh. Inside forward 50. Go the Magpies. Big fist, Tom McCartan. It gets out the back. Blakey leads the charge. He rushes it through. And now it's a 2-point ball game, but the Swans have clean possession.
Oh, the Collingwood Ferals here today. If Collingwood get up and win this, I tell you what, they're going to be dangerous after the game.
They want to make sure Sydney go long down the line here. They don't want any short balls. They don't want time off the clock. They want to force Sydney long down the line.
And they're doing that. 2 minutes 17 on the clock. Blakey goes down towards the wing here. Hoskin Elliott, the spoil off hands here. Crisp got to go and get it. Rowbottom went under him brilliantly. Won by Rowbottom. Crisp had got it back. Got the little handball out. Little knock comes to Parker. Caught in the tackle. Gave it to Warner. Warner back footed, right foot. Sliding ball. Top of Franklin. Franklin got rid of Maynard and takes the mark. 1 minute and 53 seconds to go. But he's got it on the wing. Collingwood are down by 3 points.
Need the man up again. The umpire calling the play on quickly.
Buddy takes all the time he can. Goes wide, finds Stevens. 1:40 to play.
Got a heap of players behind the football. Every Collingwood player now has to find someone.
No.
Dane Rampy is screaming at Dill Stevens, kick it back to me. He does. The seconds continue to tick off the clock. Dane Rampy looks to the bench directly to Coach Longmire, says how long to go. Now he will be forced to dump it long down the line with 1:17 to play. Contest. Big mark, Hickey. The Road Warrior has taken a massive mark for the Swans, and he walks back with 1:07 left on the clock, 80 from goal.
2-point margin. Hickey's got it 70 out. He's told to play on, so he has to dump the ball. Henry Franklin, big pack of players out the back. It comes. It's all or nothing. The kick goes wide. Dacos couldn't mark. So we've got 51 seconds. The ball is in Sydney's forward 50. Collingwood have got to move at the length of the ground and be accurate.
So Elliott trying to get players back in their forward half of the ground. They don't want to get the football and have nothing to kick it to.
Sydney by 2 points. Out of the stoppage. Crisp got it to the goey. Crisp soccer off the ground in the middle of the ground. Through comes Lloyd. He was tackled, dispossessed. Spills to Crisp. Crisp goes inside 50. Myatek was there. He got nailed. He's hurt. Comes to ground. Brilliant smother here by Collingwood. They keep it alive. To Goey win at the ball. Little hand there. But they've got a stoppage. Collingwood have got a stoppage. 23 seconds left on the clock here. It is a 2-point ball game, and Collingwood have got it in their forward 50.
Huge contest by Myatek, that was.
Ball up, Hickey, Cameron. We're going to have another one. New South Wales viewers, listeners, you're headed off to the Sharks and Rabbits after this.
Somebody's just got to hit this pack front on as fast as they can. Go through with the football.
Hickey and Cameron. Where's the Collingwood forward coming through at pace? Crisp wins it, hooks it around the body. It bubbles over the back. Numbers here for the Swans. McCartan straight lined it. McInerney's at the follow ball. It's come loose. I think it's been rushed through for a minor score.
That's it. It's over. 3 seconds. 3 seconds to go, and Sydney have got the kick in. They're down by a point.
Got to admire what Collingwood have done in the last quarter.
Sydney are going to go into the grand final. They're going to win it by a point. The siren will sound the moment the ball leaves his boot or he plays on. Sydney are through to the grand final in an incredible climax. The siren sounds. Sydney are there. Collingwood miss out by a point.
Congratulations to Sydney. But that's as good an effort from a football club who are down and out. They were on the canvas. It was a standing 9 count almost. And they come back and they almost pinched it.
Sydney have won by a point, and I'm not joking. The grandstand is actually moving, Brownie. It's
shaking.
It is shaking. The grandstand, and it's not a great one here. We've always been worried about it. It is shaking. Sydney have got home by 1 point in a massive charge.
What a finish. Wow. Wow. That's right under our boys. Geez, they fought hard. They're a really good team, and we knew they were going to come, and they did. We're lucky to hang on there, but you take the winner into a grand final, so it's been an unbelievable season. We've got so many young players coming through, playing some really good football, so it's just good to be a part of it.
And what about your mindset with 10 seconds to go? I see you looking at your bench, just screaming how long's left. You knew that they were coming, as you said. So
it felt longer than 30 seconds, that's for sure, so yeah.
What's the most pleasing aspect to this win?
We're into a grand final. I think that's the most pleasing thing, yeah. That's what we play footy for, is to play in grand finals, so we get an opportunity to go down there against Geelong. They've been an unbelievable team this year, so we're going to have to be at our best to win next week.
And what about this crowd? The second prelim, the first since '96. Insane.
Unbelievable. The Sydney Swans supporters are just amazing. Collingwood came out in numbers today, but yeah, it was just awesome just to get the win and play finals at the SCG. There's nothing better.
Go on, soak it up. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
I think the game high, Brownie, was at 38 or 36 points they've come back from Collingwood, and Sydney have been able to hang on, and Lenny pointed out they looked a little nervous here in the last quarter, and they only kicked one goal in it. Collingwood kicked the 4 to close it to a 1-point game.
Ended up having 61 inside 50s, Collingwood. You don't lose too many games with 61 inside 50s, and on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay, you see young kids with tears in their eyes. But you should be proud of your football club, because they did a hell of a job tonight to come back from where they were. The game was done and dusted, and it was players in the middle who started to win the clearances, and like Crisp was enormous to Goey. Nick Dacos moving forward after, I guess, that last quarter break, and Darcy Cameron came back into it. Lipinski was good. So when they started to win that game around the stoppage, but time and time again, they went forward, and Sydney answered the challenge defensively.
From McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks football. Sydney have got home by 1 point. On the other side of the break, we're back to enjoy the song in the Sydney rooms.
That quarter for Beacon Trade, supporting tradies with over 120 stores, expert trade teams, design services and a huge range of electrical accessories. Beacon, making every tradie's job easier.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M is your home of the Marty Sheargold Show.
Best pickup lines, are you my appendix? Because I don't know anything about you, but this feeling in my gut is telling me I should take you out.
Okay.
Are you a parking ticket? Because you've got fine written all over it.
Jono says, did you get those pants on sale? Because they're 100% off at my place.
That's just a stock take joke.
The Marty Sheargold Show.
Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
Right now, get half-price big brand vitamins and cosmetics at Chemist Warehouse. T's and C's apply.
Legends making legends at Builders Academy.
Campbell Brown here with Andrew Shea, CEO of Builders Academy. Andrew, Builders Academy have won multiple training awards recently. Tell me, what's the secret?
Thanks, Brownie. We're really proud to have added over 8,000 graduates. We offer online, classroom-based and worksite training, and most of our students are able to study with subsidies from the Victorian Government. We're really proud of our industry-leading completion rates and the outcomes we help our students achieve to become registered building legends.
Thanks, Andrew. Get in touch with Builders Academy on 1300 Legend.
Legends making legends at Builders Academy.
RTO 21583.
You are out of beer. Fridge.
Ha, lucky I'm headed to Bottle Mart.
Legend, can you grab a 30-pack of Great Northern Super Crisp for $49.99?
Bonus camping gear with every case, I'll get 2.
And grab your choice of Bombay Sapphire Gin, Jack Daniel's Whiskey or Chivas Regal 12-year-old 700ml, also just $49.99.
Will do. I'll also grab a bottle of Pepper Jack wine. Selected bottles just $19.99.
Yummo. Terms and conditions apply. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials out now at bottlemart.com.au.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. At Bob Jane T-Marts, get spring holiday savings. Buy 3 tyres and get the 4th absolutely free. Plus, up to $150 instant cash back on trusted tyre brands like Bridgestone, Yokohama, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Michelin, Zenon and Motorsport X. Alloy wheels from only $125 and tyres from just $69. All with our best tyre price guarantee. We'll look after you.
T's and C's apply.
Every year, we help thousands of people like you control their gambling. So, we get that every story is different. We get there might be setbacks along the way. We get that you might need lots of support or just the odd call. To change the way you think about gambling, call someone who gets it. Call Gamblers Help on 1800 858 858 or visit the Gamblers Help website.
Why wait for relief from hay fever symptoms?
Sneezing?
Just AZAP it.
Runny nose?
Just AZAP it.
Blocked nose?
Just AZAP it. For fast, effective relief from hay fever symptoms, just AZAP it. AZAP. Available at your local pharmacy.
Always read the label and follow the directions for use. AZAP nasal spray contains azelastine. AZAP is a Viatris company trademark.
While truckies support Australia, Shell has been supporting truckies since 1901, making road transport easier, safer and more efficient. And for Shell card holders, we're making it more economical as well. Talk to us today about a fuel discount for your business and save every time you refuel. It doesn't matter if you run one truck or a whole fleet. All you need is a valid ABN to apply for your Shell card now at shell.com.au/truck network.
Score a great deal at Dan Murphy's for the footy finals. Beat the crowd and shop online at danmurphys.com.au for delivery in under 2 hours or pick up in under 30 minutes. Kick off the footy finals at Dan Murphy's. Conditions apply. Choose to drink wise.
Measure up on site with the latest laser distance measure from Bosch Professional Measuring Tools. The new 100-metre laser distance measure GLM 100-25C. Your new best mate on site. Featuring zoom function for long distances, red beam laser, fast documentation with Bluetooth via the Measure On app, backed by a 6-year guarantee. The Bosch 100-metre laser distance measure GLM 100-25C. Available at Bunnings Warehouse, Total Tools and Sydney Tools.
Triple M rocks footy.
The Triple M Footy Review. Amy. Who covers clangers? Amy does. Lucky you're with Amy.
Sydney have won by 1 point over Collingwood in a dramatic finish to the second of our prelim finals here at the SCG in front of a full house. Amazing game of footy. It was all Sydney in the first half. They led by 30 points at half time. Shortly after that, 36 points as they eased their way into the mid part of the third quarter. And Collingwood have come from 36 down to get within a point at the end of the game. But it's Sydney through to the grand final. Josh Kennedy, who didn't take part, is out there in the middle. His teammates grabbed him, dragged him into the middle. The players are still on the ground here congratulating. Collingwood have left the arena, and there is a lot of celebrating and backslapping and hugging Brownie down there now.
And so there should be. They've been an outstanding team all season. I reckon they're going to try and lift up Josh Kennedy here and carry him off the ground, which is a nice touch for a champion player. Dane Rampy and Luke Parker will be the two putting him on their shoulders. And to the much-loved Sydney supporters down there, he's been a great player, Josh Kennedy. Won the Gary Ayres medal for the best player in the final series back in 2016.
Josh Kennedy, you're right, Brownie. He's been hoisted above the shoulders, and although not taking part today, he's bowing out. The hamstring injury during the week meant that he is not going to play any part in the grand final, even with the injury they've got to Reid, which, by the way, Reid's body language suggests that he is a dead-set chance to be part of the action next week, I reckon.
Yeah, they don't seem too upset out there with Reid. I see the chatting with other players, and look, they one more minute and that game was going the other way. Yep. Collingwood was steamrolling them, and the whole thing that Craig McRae set up this year, we play 120 minutes. It gets in their head. It gets in the opposition's head, and I think Sydney were a victim of that tonight. Ended up winning the game, but they would have been thinking Collingwood are going to come, and they definitely did come, and that's the genius of what Craig McRae has built. But Sydney got the win because they set the game up in the first half. Their clearance work was good, and it's always hard work to come back. As close as they got, Sydney set this game up in the first half.
Hard to believe where Sydney have come from, really. I mean, 2 years ago, it just didn't look like it was going to be for a few years, did it?
Yeah.
No, and they backed their young mids in from the start of the year, and Kennedy started off half back, and they've just stuck with that, and they've developed so quickly and so well. And you've got to take your hat off to them, because they've been up at the pointy end for almost 20 years.
Let's hear the song. That's down in the rooms. We're going to go back there very, very shortly and get an interview out of the room. But Sydney have won by a point today over Collingwood in a dramatic prelim final. For McDonald Hot Water, Triple M Rock Football.
The Triple M Footy Review for Amy. Who covers clangers? Amy does. Lucky you're with Amy.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
The ultimate battle of 80s music. 128 artists, 512 awesome hairdos. Ooh, 73 mullets. Triple M's Flock of 80s Finals continues Monday at 11 a.m. Queen.
All we hear is Radio Kaka, Radio Good.
Taking on hunters and collectors.
Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see?
Make sure you vote go. Because if you do, you've got a shot at 4 tickets to the Toyota AFL Grand Final. GFAFL 22/90. Triple M's flock of 80s finals. Monday at work. Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
You are out of beer. Fridge.
Ha, lucky I'm headed to Bottle Mart.
Legend, can you grab a 30-pack of Great Northern Super Crisp for $49.99?
Bonus camping gear with every case, I'll get 2.
And grab your choice of Bombay Sapphire Gin, Jack Daniel's Whiskey or Chivas Regal 12-year-old 700ml, also just $49.99.
Will do. I'll also grab a bottle of Pepperjack wine. Selected bottles just $19.99.
Yummo. Terms and conditions apply. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials are now at bottlemart.com.au.
Why wait for relief from hay fever symptoms?
Sneezing?
Just AZep it.
Runny nose?
Just AZep it.
Blocked nose?
Just AZep it. For fast, effective relief from hay fever symptoms, just AZep it. AZap. Available at your local pharmacy.
Always read the label and follow the directions for use. AZap nasal spray contains azelastine. AZap is a Viatris company trademark.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. At Bob Jane T-Mart, get spring holiday savings. Buy 3 tyres and get the 4th absolutely free. Plus, up to $150 instant cash back on trusted tyre brands like Bridgestone, Yokohama, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Michelin, Zenon and Motorsport X. Alloy wheels from only $125 and tyres from just $69. All with our best tyre price guarantee. We'll look after you.
T's and C's apply.
G'day, Adam Gilchrist here. Treating people fairly has always been important to me, both on and off the field, which is why I'm a big fan of homeloans.com.au. Their Fair Go guarantee means all customers, not just new ones, get automatically upgraded to the best rate available for their particular home loan. Guaranteed. Can't get much fairer than that. So, say no thanks to the big banks. Get the best rates and a fair go at homeloans.com.au. T's and credit criteria apply.
You are out of beer. Fridge.
Ha, lucky I'm headed to Bottle Mart.
Legend, can you grab a 30-pack of Great Northern Super Crisp for $49.99?
Bonus camping gear with every case, I'll get 2.
And grab your choice of Bombay Sapphire Gin, Jack Daniel's Whiskey or Chivas Regal 12-year-old 700ml, also just $49.99.
Will do. I'll also grab a bottle of Pepperjack wine. Selected bottles just $19.99.
Yummo. Terms and conditions apply. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials are now at bottlemart.com.au.
While truckies support Australia, Shell has been supporting truckies since 1901, making road transport easier, safer and more efficient. And for Shell card holders, we're making it more economical as well. Talk to us today about a fuel discount for your business and save every time you refuel. It doesn't matter if you run one truck or a whole fleet. All you need is a valid ABN to apply for your Shell card now at shell.com.au/truck network.
Campbell Brown here with Andrew Shea, CEO of Builders Academy. What would you say to someone looking to get into the building industry, mate?
Thanks, Brownie. There's never been a better time to enter the building and construction industry. Whether it's starting a Certificate 2 or moving into an apprenticeship in carpentry, we can help those entering the industry or pathwaying towards a Certificate 4 or diploma to become a registered building legend.
Thanks, Andrew. Get in touch with Builders Academy on 1300 Legend.
RTO 21583.
You are out of beer. Fridge.
Ha, lucky I'm headed to Bottle Mart.
Legend, can you grab a 30-pack of Great Northern Super Crisp for $49.99?
Bonus camping gear with every case, I'll get 2.
And grab your choice of Bombay Sapphire Gin, Jack Daniel's Whiskey or Chivas Regal 12-year-old 700ml, also just $49.99.
Will do. I'll also grab a bottle of Pepperjack wine. Selected bottles just $19.99.
Yummo. Terms and conditions apply. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Just download our app. Catalogue specials are now at bottlemart.com.au.
Marine Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Huge win here today by Sydney. They're into the grand final. Absolutely unbelievable. Lenny Hayes, Nathan Brown, Liam Flanagan, myself, Brian Taylor. Let's get down to the rooms. Tom Brown's got a guest down there. Take it away, Tom.
Callum Mills just about to come out.
Have anyone? Okay, we will come back here to us. And we will just about wrap it up, I reckon, Lenny. That was a magnificent effort. What chance Sydney in the grand final against the all-conquering Cats, do you think?
Oh, they'll have to do a lot right, and I think Buddy said that after the game out on the ground. They'll have to be at their absolute best. This game would have taken a lot out of them, but they'll also go in with enormous confidence. They're a young side. They've played great footy all year. So they'll go in as the underdogs and let it all hang out there and hope for the best. But, yeah, Geelong will certainly go in favourites. Been the best team all year, but Swans, definitely a chance.
Brownie, what will the odds suggest in that game, do you think?
Geelong will be favourite, but it won't be. I mean, Collingwood were over $3 today to start the game. They got into about $2.90, but it'll be a bit closer, maybe $1.50, $2.50. But I still think it's a 50-50 ball game. There's only two sides that worried Geelong this year, and that was Sydney and Collingwood. So Collingwood 37 points up earlier on in the season. They got rolled, and then again, obviously, in the final a couple of weeks ago, could have gone either way. But Sydney beat Geelong earlier on in the season. It's a long time ago, but really the only two sides that worried them. So Geelong will watch this game tonight, and they'll see how efficient and how elite Sydney were in that first quarter and how much pressure they put on. So, and they've got the arsenal in their back end to control Tom Hawkins and also Jeremy Cameron. So it's going to be a huge, huge game. And it's a flip of the coin. I'm going to go with Geelong, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sydney win either.
Just getting some pictures coming from the Collingwood rooms down there as well. Just saw the President, Jeff Brown, heading down there. Seeing the Sydney Swans players that didn't participate in the game today out on the ground doing a little bit of running out here at the moment. Brownie, if for some reason Sam Reid didn't get up, and we think he probably will without knowing the answer, Tom might tell us in a moment. I wonder who's next in line. Reserves today, or the emergencies were McLean, Cunningham and Gould. Out of that lot, probably Harry Cunningham, wouldn't he, if it had to choose out of those. Bell's out there doing a bit of work. He's been good this year as well.
It's just what John Longmire thinks is going to stretch Geelong more. Is it an extra runner in Cunningham, or is it McLean who can play forward and a pinch hit in the ruck as well? So against Geelong, you need to be able to use the ball. You need to be able to have leg speed. I think the thing that Geelong can trouble them in the midfield is leg speed. I know they've added a few in there this year that are a bit quicker, but when you've got Selwood, you've got Dangerfield, you've got Duncan sometimes in there, I think genuine leg speed can sometimes get Geelong if you can move the ball quick enough.
When we obviously next week's going to be about the Cats and the Swans as we build up to the grand final, but take a moment to talk about the season that Collingwood's just put together. I mean, the head coach of the Collingwood Football Club is probably the biggest job in the game, and Craig McRae in his first season has taken them from a 17th place finish last year to within a point of a grand final appearance.
Unbelievable, and it's the way they've done it too. Like, they've come from behind so many times and they just haven't given up. As Brownie said before, they play the full 120 minutes and they've had an unbelievable season, and they've got a lot of improvement left in them too.
The other player that we probably haven't discussed so far is doing a warm-up out here now, kicking with other Sydney reserves players, is Joel Armadi. So he's a player that can take a mark. He's got that X-factor about him. So if Reid doesn't get up, I think Armadi would be an opportunity as well. So you've got players out here just kicking the ball around at the moment, doing some drills. And McLean is one of those. Cunningham is one of those. And Armadi definitely out there as well.
Let's go downstairs to Tom Brown. Tom.
Yeah, just to set the...
Right. Might just follow you there, Tom.
You there, BT?
Yeah, mate.
Sorry, just to apologise, I'm under the stand. All the Swans players remain in their meeting rooms. There's a couple obviously in the medical room, including Reid at the moment, but the media at the moment waiting for the players to come out and do their interviews. So I'm not sure if there's a media ban of sorts, but they're not doing any interviews just at the minute.
We'll let them go. Tom, thank you very much for all of your work today. Appreciate that on behalf of Triple M. That's it, boys. Lenny, thank you very much. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks, PT.
Good luck next year, Lenny.
Yep. Lads. And down at the Saints, of course, Lenny back at his home. Nathan Brown, Liam Flanagan here on behalf of the whole Triple M team. We've enjoyed broadcasting the game for you from the SCG. Sydney up by a point today. They head to the grand final. From McDonald's and Remont Water, Triple M rocks football.